head coach here in program history?
It's all moved really quickly here over the course of the last 5-6 weeks. But super excited to be here.
Phil Benotti is the voice for the Central Valley sports leader. Behind the Bench starts now. Brought to you by Helena Agri.
That's right, Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. We are here having a fun, fantastic time here on the show. 3 hours of content that we will provide you here on this July 2nd here on 1430 ESPN. Good to have you in. Good to have you alongside. Good to be streaming right here on the 1430 ESPN app or 1430ESPNFresno.com or 1430 AM as well. Good to have you alongside for the ride. We're also streaming live on YouTube. We're also streaming live on Twitch, live on Facebook video portion of the show. So hello to our video viewers as we get things going on this afternoon. It's 3:03 on the dot. Good to have you alongside here for the ride. 3 hours, like I said. Big thanks to Tony D for tossing it to us in the previous hour. Tony D, of course, always goes from 2 to 3 on the weekdays here on 1430 ESPN. But, of course, you can catch his show on demand if you missed any of the program here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, 1430 ESPN Fresno app as well. So good to have everybody alongside here. Good to be in the studio for 3 hours. Let's go over some of the sponsorships that we have here always on the show before we get things started. Of course, we have the Lee's Air Hotline right here. 559-320-1430 is the Lee's Air Hotline. The way you can reach our show, get in contact with everybody here on the show. If you got something to say, be sure to call in there on our hotline. Lee's Air Weather Check sits at a brisk 96. I would say brisk is in the terms of it was not as hot as it usually is at this time of week here. A lot of hundreds we've seen over the last few days. But 97 degrees is the high temperature for today. We'll get up to 100 tomorrow, and then we'll dip back in to the low 90s for the 4th of July holiday weekend. Couldn't dial it up any better here in the Central Valley for some really good temperatures over the next few days. So can't wait for that. We also have our 3 o'clock hour sponsor, the Clovis Truck Center, formerly known as Linex of Clovis, here in the Central Valley. Clovis Truck Center, the first, the biggest, and still the best in the Central Valley here. And, of course, they're bigger than the bedliner. Clovis Truck Center, located just south of the rodeo grounds here in Old Town Clovis. And, by the way, if you stop by, say Phil Benotti sent you, you'll get $50 off your next visit to Clovis Truck Center. That's right, $50 off your next visit. Just tell them Phil Benotti sent you. That is for the month of July. So nice, fun special for Clovis Truck Center there. And appreciate you all for patroning their business over there. We also have Fashion Furniture, great sponsor of ours, as always, here on the docket on our show. Fashion Furniture, of course, still facing that critical overstock situation. That's right, $5 million worth of name brand furniture being sold directly to the public. Fashion Furniture, locally owned, has served Fresno and Central Valley for over 65 years. A lot of people. 65 years. That's a lot of people they have served. Huge price cuts in every department. We're talking savings of up to 76%. That's right. So the savings are spectacular. And be sure to bring your trucks and trailers, because with prices this low, they must charge for delivery. All right. Good on the show here. Good to get ready here as far as that's concerned, but we are looking forward to what we are excited about here on the show. Lots of conversation, a lot of things to go over here today. We're going to dive into a lot of different topics on this midweek Wednesday show. Get you set for Giants baseball going up till 6 o'clock, 6:10 pregame for Giants baseball, 6:40 first pitch from the desert in Arizona. What do we got on the docket? We got a couple of people on the guest list here today. Of course, she just walked in. We will get her on in about 10 minutes or so. Head coach of Fresno State softball, the new hired head coach of Fresno State softball, Charlotte Morgan, in for us here. She'll be joining us in about 10, 15 minutes or so from now. So good to have her in as well. And then coming up later in the hour, in the show, in the third hour, we're going to be joined by Tim Amundsen of Bullard Basketball. Of course, you heard the horrific story about their fireworks booth and $40,000 worth of merchandise stolen from them, robbed from them over this past week. Big fundraisers for these schools. They do a lot for these fundraisers, and that is a devastating amount of material that could help benefit Bullard basketball. Unfortunately, now it is a situation where we need a community to come together. So we'll have Tim Amundsen on in the third hour, 5:15 hour or so. So be sure to join us then. Topics we'll talk about, of course, we'll talk about Giants baseball. We'll talk about all the big things that pop up. Garrett Classy's been a little vocal on the social media tour, so he's come out with some information as well. U.S. soccer starts in about an hour from now. We will keep an eye on that one. So we will be monitoring throughout the show the U.S. soccer game versus Guatemala. It is a semifinal today. Of course, Mexico plays later tonight at 7 p.m. in Santa Clara. So I'm going to be interested in that. We'll continue our 50 states in 50 days trivia with the state of New Mexico. Got a 5 at 5 coming up involving the Home Run Derby. We should be learning who's playing in the Home Run Derby pretty soon here with a few weeks left before the All-Star break. So get you set, of course, for Giants baseball, like I said. So good to be here. Good to get things going. I came into the studio ready for a show. We got our producers in for today, Tate Veer behind the buttons, and we got Julia working our video content stream as well. And I'm distracted. I'm distracted as I walk in here because I don't know what I'm smelling. I don't know what's going on here. I'm smelling some sort of like meat something in this studio right now, and I don't know who it is. I don't know what it is, but I am getting a whiff of something from somewhere right now. So let me get the mic on. Do we have a theory? You guys are pointing at something right now.
So we were saying right before the show started, we smell the exact same thing. So we don't know what it is. I don't know if Julia has a rack of ribs just staying in the back somewhere, but yeah, we smell that too.
Yeah, what's going on here, Julia?
I mean, it's not me, but maybe they brought some more KFC chicken in here. That seems to be a theme around this office. So
who's cooking? I know they're listening to me out there in the stream for people who are over there, and they'll react in about 20 seconds when I say it because I know the stream's a little bit behind out there. But I want to know what's cooking, what I'm smelling. It smells like somebody's doing barbecue somewhere, and I'm getting hungry even though I just had lunch like 2 hours ago. So I need to figure out what's going on here, and I'm hoping the sound is on over there because I need them to start investigating what's going on. I don't know if they're listening. I think they're droned away on their phone over there. So our top
once
tier
they hear us, they'll
social
look
media
straight
team.
at us.
Yes, I'm looking at you, Danielle and Amara. That's what. What's that smell? I don't know what the smell is. Anybody got any theories? So that's what I've got. I'm distracted. There's a lot going on, and I want to start with the top sports story. I cannot believe they're not reacting to what's going on right now. They're locked in. Anyways, okay. It would be an interesting commercial break. Anyways, top sports story brought to you by Valley Pure. We lead off the show. I had something right here at the top, but clearly something broke just now. I think we go with it to start. We were talking about it yesterday with the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers, of course, trying to find their big man that can kind of help them shore up their issues with their size. Should be interesting to see where they were going to go with it. I think, obviously, a lot of signs are pointing to DeAndre Ayton, and DeAndre Ayton, the former number 1 overall pick, just 7 years ago, is a Los Angeles Laker. And I would imagine Laker fans are at least happy there is a body there to play the position. I know it is not a top-tier level of things going on. I now have a new theory of what it is, and I'll talk about sorry, the smell. I think Carter was making lunch over there. So, anyways, DeAndre Ayton to the Lakers, that is official, it appears. And I think Laker fans can at least breathe a sigh of relief that there's some sort of body there that can play the position and play with the height that they absolutely needed. Of course, I think they need some more depth. If there's another second option that's cheaper on the market there, maybe they can find it. But it is a start. to where the Lakers need to go as far as the team is concerned. And there is upside, and there is also downside with DeAndre Ayton. But our reaction, I would say, overall, this is the move the Lakers had to move. It's not like they could have picked any other bigger options for that, but felt like the move they had to make, and they did it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that I've been really hard on the Lakers because their ineffectiveness in free agency has kind of put them in a situation where they really don't have the depth. But I'm gonna start on the positive side of things. I think Ayton does two things for this team. Mm-hmm. One, it gives Luka Doncic a lob threat that I feel like he was missing. Obviously, Jackson Hayes is also one, but I think Ayton is more effective in getting to the spots that he needs to and being more dangerous down low. Secondly, I also think this gives a better presence down under the basket for Luka Doncic to, have a little bit of leeway on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not saying Luka Doncic is a cone out there, right? But we have seen in years past that regardless of his absolute wizardry on the offensive side of the ball, he is still not the greatest defender. And so having Ayton back there will allow the Lakers to play a little better defensively and sure up any time that Luka is, trade or switched onto, that it's not going to be the worst thing in the world.
And you mentioned some of the guys like like Jackson Hayes, who's in those positions. You're not going to have to ask Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura to play a position that they are not used to as well. And to me, it's like defensively they can perform better because they're not on the assignment of being in the interior that they're not used to. And also on the offensive end, they can be more effective in the positions that they're more likely to be able to play instead of down under, trying to get offensive rebounds, trying to fight against some towers out there like Minnesota had with Rudy Gobert and company, per se. So they don't get exploited in that sense by the idea that DeAndre Ayton, if he is 100% healthy through 82 games, they don't get the what am I trying to say? The responsibilities shift, and the Lakers play a little bit more like the Lakers they are supposed to be instead of trying to fill a hole that they were trying to make. It was a 3-seeded team, but let's be fair, there were so many flaws with the system. They weren't going to be able to sustain it for 4 rounds. I knew it, or you know it with the minutes limits that they had, the issues with the depth, the issue of the rotation. You weren't going to have guys be able to sustain with a 7-man rotation through a whole playoff run. But at least in my mind, if you theoretically have Ayton for the 82 plus playoff run, then this Laker team can form back into what those players' strengths are, as opposed to trying to fit square pegs into round holes. You know what I mean?
I also think people need to understand that Ayton is coming off of a calf injury. The last game he played was February 10th in a loss against the Denver Nuggets. So I don't know if this is going to be a player that you see for 82 games, because I just think that's what the nature of the league is. But I think this is a good start for a Lakers team that is trying to get over the hump. But if we just look at the starting lineup now, right?
Yeah.
So we got Luka, Austin Reeves, LeBron. I don't know who the fourth, or Rui.
Yeah.
And Ayton. And
yeah.
I think that's a phenomenal starting five.
It's a great starting five.
Right. I just think that now it's just the depth piece. You got to angle towards players that can help your team, giving less minutes but significant minutes on top of that.
You're hoping Connect becomes what we were kind of hoping for him to be, right? And like I said, Jackson Hayes to kind of find his rhythm again as a guy who can push the pace on the floor as far as that's concerned. And it's going to be interesting to see where it kind of fills out as far as that's concerned, as far as viable options. Maxi Kleber, if he's healthy, can he be a guy that provides some things from that trade we had with the Dallas Mavericks as well, right? Because we forget that Kleber was there he played in a little bit of a minimal playoff situation. So could he just find something that me begging for Maxi Kleber to be a contributor is a tough place for me to be in.
I think they need another four, a power forward. I think that it's very thin behind Rui.
Well, that's why they signed this Jake LaRavia guy who, young, 23, forward, 6'7" kind of guy that feels a little Rui-ish. Jackson Hayes, well, not Jackson Hayes-ish, but, they're taking a shot on a guy for $3.3 million and seeing what he can kind of provide. But
Yeah, and that's how you're supposed to go through with this new system of building a team, right? Take chances on some players that you can give low contracts to, but you can try and fit into your system. And maybe Jake LaRavia is that guy, but it's not the flashy piece that some Lakers fans usually would want. But if it can work, I think JJ Redick's a good coach. I think it can do wonders for them.
There's still pieces like Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent. You can convince me like there's the bottom tier level of what these guys can do, and then there's like the legit what you can kind of have from these kind of players as well. Markieff Morris give you like 6 minutes and 7 minutes.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just down on them because of how they played last year. But yeah, they can definitely give you quality minutes. It's just on them.
Yeah, I can be convinced either way, but at least to me, you avoid the opportunity for players to not be comfortable with what they're doing. With Ayton now being in that position, they do also have Alex Len on the roster as well, and you never know. He's been around for a bit. He's a body. That's kind of where it is sometimes when it comes to the interior defensively, in my opinion. So should be interesting, but at least the Lakers have found the piece that I think they're looking for. I know they're not done. I think they're not satisfied, but at least you can convince me this is a playoff team moving forward. And, if the chips fall the right way, a run could be possible in the playoffs. And maybe that's where you can get a little lucky if you're a Laker fan. So that's what it is. Ayton to the Lakers signed today. All right, when we take a break, Charlotte Morgan will be in studio here, the softball coach for Fresno State. We'll chat with her, get to know her as she gets ready to take over the softball program here at Fresno State. Stay with us. We're just getting started here on Behind the Bench on 1430 ESPN. Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
Listen to your Fresno Grizzlies on ESPN Radio. That's right. Select games will be on 1430 and 790 ESPN Radio, your local sports leader. The Fresno Grizzlies at Chikchincy Park are always entertaining. Now hear them compete on the radio. Spending your time at the ballpark with the family is always a great time. So be sure to check out as many home games as you can this season. Check out 1430ESPNFresno.com for game times and more. And keep it right here on 1430 ESPN Radio, your local sports leader.
No matter the time, morning, noon, or night, Black Bear Diner in Fresno has you covered. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner served all day just the way you like it. At Black Bear Diner in Fresno, you can count on them serving up hearty portions that satisfy even the hungriest appetites. Plus, the little Cubs can enjoy their brand new Cubs Corner too. So gather your family and friends, bring your appetite, and make it a meal to remember at Black Bear Diner in Fresno, corner of Shaw and Marty.
Black Bear Diner. For over 60 years, we at DeBudo and Defendus Insurance, a multi-generational and family-owned company, have proudly provided high-quality risk management and insurance solutions to local businesses. Thanks to the incredible work and personal touch our insurance professionals provide our clients, DeBudo and Defendus has been named Central Valley's best property and casualty insurance company for 9 years running. Visit DIBU.com and get the business insurance you need today.
License number 0E02096.
At FFB, we know behind every business is a person. That's why we're more than a bank. We're a partner, a farming-focused bank for hard workers, a future-forward bank for big dreamers, and a family-friendly bank for the next generation of owners. From first ideas to major milestones, we're here to help you chase your goals and score big. So what can FFB mean for your business? Find out at ffb.bank. That's ffb.bank. FFB Bank. Let's win together.
Summer is here in the Central Valley, and the action at Valley Athletics is where you want to be. It's Phil Benotti here to tell you about some summer programs for your hooper in your life. VBA Skills Academy is coming up fast on July 14th, and all skill levels are welcome. This camp is open to all ages between 3rd through 10th grade, with each day dedicated to a core basketball skill, ensuring that they get the confidence that they need in a dynamic environment. ValleyAthletics.co is the website where you find all the information and to sign up. Valley Athletics, developing the athlete in everyone.
Giants baseball is here.
Chapman, it's a drive out to left center field. At the wall, it is gone!
Your home for Giants baseball lives on 1430 ESPN Fresno.
Double play! And the inning is over.
Catch all the action, home and away, on the Central Valley sports leader, Giants baseball. Brought to you by FFB Bank, Fresno Suit Outlet, Jack's Car Wash, Jones Cleaning, A+ Signs, and Mega Prints.
I know how important some of this equipment for the farmers is. Without it, they can't get the job done.
That's Bob Aguirre, Service Manager at Pioneer Equipment Company.
My philosophy is get the tractor in and get it out as fast as I can. It's not supposed to be in the shop. It's supposed to be out in the field working.
Pioneer provides quality service for Kubota, Land Pride, and Nelson Equipment. Stop by and say hi at our Fresno or Reedley locations, and we'll get your equipment serviced right away.
This is a family-oriented business. It's been great working for Pioneer Equipment.
Visit PioneerEquipmentCA.com.
Roger Dunn has the new Callaway Paradigm AI smoke drivers to take your game to the next level. State-of-the-art technology. They've created the most advanced driver face in the history of Callaway golf. The AI Smart Face is designed to create a sweet spot, and not just the center, but all over the face. AI smoke drivers, fairway irons, and putters. The AI smoke driver, it's sweeter from every spot. Paradigm AI smoke drivers. Remember, you're always number one at Roger Dunn.
All right, welcome back to Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. We are pleased to be joined in studio by the new softball coach of Fresno State, Charlotte Morgan, in here for us for the afternoon for this segment here. Charlotte, good to have you. Excited to have you. How are we doing on this Wednesday? I know things are going crazy for you right now, moving in and all that stuff, but good to have you stop by for a little bit.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited. Got moved up, so it's definitely a whirlwind right now, but super excited to be here and get settled in and get everything locked up and kind of get our feet. I wanted to get up here as fast as I could so I could kind of get my hands dirty, and super excited to be here and can't wait to get working.
Exactly, and I think there's a lot of excitement having somebody here who's, I think you get an understanding of the history of this program, right, and where it all kind of started. It's one of the staples of softball in the nation, and to maybe think, and maybe, I don't know, was there a pinch yourself moment to say, wow, I'm going to be a head coach at this program, Fresno State?
Yeah, I think it's a full circle moment. I mean, I grew up in Moreno Valley, California, down south, and I told the story in my press conferences. My freshman year in high school, my athletic director, who was my head softball coach, gave me a 2XL gray cotton t-shirt that had the bulldog on it. And growing up, Fresno State was the place to be and the place that you wanted to play. And they knew winning, and they took softball, which for a female was huge, right? And I think growing up that's something I looked up and I watched. And I mean, Marjorie, I was the coach at the time, and just seeing the dynasty that Donna Pickle and just what they continued over the years. In California, there's a lot of pro sports. And so to have a dominant college softball program, you had your UCLA and Arizona, but Fresno State was the place to be. Mm-hmm. And one of the top programs. And I mean, it speaks for itself with the stadium and the history and just the importance that the community and the alumni, and there's so much to be proud of. And, again, I think it's that circle moment of my dad's like, I'm going to go in the rafters and find that shirt. And I always believe things happen for a reason, and God, things just are supposed to work out how they are. And now I'm here. And so it's definitely, I don't think settled in yet, because it's crazy, right? But again, I'm just super honored, blessed, and thankful that they took a chance. And I think it's also I know about this program. I know, the area, and I want to continue to make them proud and get this place. We have everything. We have the bones. We just got to get the right people. Yeah. And if you get the right people and you get the right leader, and I think with Garrett as our athletic director, I think the leadership is there. And it's exciting because I know they want it. And I think it's just, again, something that I know personally growing up, that I wanted to go, and now I'm here and leading it. And so, again, I think it's just an amazing opportunity. Absolutely.
There's so much with this program, but certainly there are opportunities that arise, and people take chances, and you take a chance on this job and the opportunity to go after it. What was the process like for you? Did it go quickly for you, or how long was it for you to find out you would be the head coach for it?
It was really quick. I think a lot of people were stunned as well, and obviously Stacy announced that she was going to Iowa, and I think our athletic director Garrett was immediate of, we are making a national search, and I think the president also understands the different landscape of college athletics right now with the transfer portal and NIL, and you can't take your time anymore to hire coaches because there is that 30-day window, and it's just college athletics is different. And so I think he moved exceptionally fast. And for me, I was okay where I was, and I was proud of my program and the things I was doing there. And so again, went through the process, and it was really fast. And I like to do things the right way and make sure that my administration and my coaching staff down there knew what was going on. And so again, it was out of nowhere, and that's, I think, how sometimes this stuff happens in our world is everyone knows everybody. And so obviously my name got passed along, and they did their research, and again, so really quick, but I do understand the time of it matters. And so that's something that I did a lot of thinking, and there's a lot. I have my daughter, and am I going to move her? She's 6, and having stability. There's a lot of things that as you get older you start thinking about, and something I've always said, and even when I took this job, is I'm a mom first, and my daughter is priority, and I want to do things the right way, and having that stability is important to me. Yeah. I love what I do. The fans, the alumni, they're going to get a coach that's going to work her butt off, and you're not going to have to ever second guess that we're working, and that I love what I do. But at the end of the day, my daughter is number one. And so that was important for me. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why I wanted to get to know this university. And I know a lot of people as well up here, and did my research. And I think they've shown the same support to me with my daughter, Boston. And I had a really good situation where they supported me as a single mom, as a head coach, which in Division I softball or in athletics, it's hard, one, to be a mom and to be a single mom. And so I do think there was a lot of things that I had to think about in those regards, but the opportunity and this program, the university, everything was there. And it was more of make sure that it's the right thing for my daughter. And once I was able to clear and make sure I checked those and did my research, there was not even a doubt of I'm going, So again, it definitely was quick, but I'm very, very excited. But there was a lot more than when it used to just be me. It's different when you don't have a kid.
The priorities certainly shift for anybody like that. But it's lovely she's here hanging out. It's good to meet her as well. Coach, there's a lot of background with coaches and how they get into coaching per se, and where the bug grabs you as far as that's concerned. Because you can be the player first, but then suddenly you're like, well, teaching the game, showing the game to people like that. So where in an early age for you did you think, okay, coaching is something I'm going to be very interested in, maybe even when you're still a player? Or do you ever think of a moment like that for you?
I love doing lessons. So I had 21 kids when I was at Alabama. I had to kind of have a source of income, and so I loved teaching. I loved the younger ones. I did pitching and hitting lessons. I did camps and clinics. I was always one of Murphy's that did that. So I loved teaching. I wanted to be an undercover K-9 officer in the detective unit for the FBI. I loved that aspect. I didn't think I'd want to coach college because as a player, I was very intense. And a lot of people know I had some anger, but I was very intense. And I didn't know if I'd be able to transfer into, as a player, you can be a little selfish in your training and stuff. And as I got older and I was playing pro for 5 years, but I was a coach through that. Coach Murphy at Alabama, he really helped mentor me, and he's the one that kind of kept pushing me back. He's like, you can do this, and a lot are, well, if you're really good, it's hard to be a good coach. There's a lot of that out there too, and for me, I've worked my butt off for anything that I've gotten. It was not given. I'm strong, but I put the work in. I outwork everybody.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of injuries along the way. And so I think for me, once I kind of was going through my pro league and then I, coached at Maryland, I became a pitching coach. If you Google me, you see me dropping bombs. I'm hitting home runs. I'm striking some people out, and I had a 50-game winner and didn't realize I was, but I became a pitching coach. And I think it's kind of something, if you would have asked me, I would have said, you're crazy, because I love the offensive side of the game. But ultimately, I think what I learned through my coaching journey is I love coaching and I love mentoring, and I'm more of a player's coach. If you would have told me I was going to be a player's coach, I said, you're crazy. But I think what it comes is I do think I treat them as a person, and I think I can understand. Murphy didn't give up on me when I was a hard-nosed alpha first Californian that had some anger, but I think what I do is I love teaching, I love mentoring, and as long as I can continue to make a difference in my student athletes' lives, be there and grow our game, that to me, I will always, I think, get my fulfillment. It's not the wins and losses.
You mentioned interesting thing there, the fact that the first Californian went to that Alabama program, is that right? And so you mentioned the work ethic. Sometimes you can see like a chip on your shoulder a little bit when you come into like that situation. One is say, wow, here's this Californian, what's she going to know about our culture here in Alabama, what we do? Do you apply that a little bit, the chip on the shoulder aspect to you from maybe where you started in high school or, and then continued on and had to kind of prove yourself to be a person that can be in that Alabama softball environment per se?
Yeah, I think it was more of kind of proving people wrong. I think more than like a chip, because I'm a left-handed pitcher and I throw left, but I hit right. So I'm awkward. I'm like probably 2 in our game. But people didn't think I'd pitch in college. And one of the things is I wanted to be somebody different. I wanted to go to a program that I was going to help leave a legacy and be something different. And that's ultimately why I chose there over UCLA and Texas and Arizona and Florida. Those were the schools I was looking at. And I wanted to, they were 2-0 in the World Series. And I was like, I'm going to put my stamp here, and it was probably more of them getting to understand who a Californian alpha type A, probably the hardest type of personality to come in as your first Californian player. But I think it was more of the fans. They're the ones that helped welcome me because I was homesick. I was a baby of 6 going away from college, and having that community was huge, which is why I'm here is there's community support. They're going to be hard on me. I get that. They're all going to have an opinion. They did that anywhere. But having your community and the tradition, that was what was important. And I felt that at Alabama. And it was more of just keeping, yes, I'm proving people wrong, but doubt me. It gave me so much fuel. And you're never like, your opinions don't affect me. It only fuels me and it makes me better. And so those were things that I had to learn, but I think the hardest thing I had to deal with is understanding not everybody was me and raised how we are here. I was very blue collar. My dad's a farmer from Nebraska, and it's getting up at 4:30 in the morning, that you have chores, it's hard. And my mom's a full-time single parent. So it's just, I was a grinder. We worked hard. And I think I didn't understand sometimes that aspect. Everyone should be doing it. Everyone, and it's like, no, not everyone's like you, but I do think part of it is that, and it's more of, I love a challenge and I love it. It's not going to affect me. I get a choice if it's going to affect me. I believe in a higher purpose, and my purpose is in one place, and he's the only one that can judge. And so then that's fine. Doubt me. I'll take the names. I take note, and I'm going to continue to show up for my team and for my people. I'm very big on my team, my community, my family. That is priority.
Yeah. Do you feel like, when you've been to many stops throughout your coaching career, do you feel the players adopt the attitude you're mentioning, right? That kind of, go ahead, doubt us, go ahead, and you lean on that a little bit, and you feel it in the players and the way they play and the way they attack the game, per se, the way you see it.
Yeah, I think any of my players and people would know is I love is, so what? Let them. If they didn't believe in you, believe in yourself. I got you, and I think I love being able to, we can talk about it and we got to get it out, but it ain't going to be what motivates us, because we can use it. And now we're going to focus back on ourselves. And something I always tell my team and my players is, we're not trying to beat San Diego State. We're trying to, we have Fresno State and we play the same game. It's 60 feet, one left turn. If the game changes, you changed it. And if the game is a different game, or you have a different pressure from somebody saying that you can't, you're allowing that. And so I love it. I love players that have been underrated. I love players that might not be the top. So what? People didn't think I could pitch. I was a 50-game winner. I won 2 games in the World Series. I did okay. And everyone said I would never pitch at the D1 level. Yeah. Coach Murphy believed, he said, I'd give you the opportunity. And so I believe I'm never going to give up on a player that doesn't give up on themselves. And if they don't give up, we have an opportunity. And that's all that I try to do, because I had a program that didn't give up on me, and I will never give up on anyone. If maybe they're a little misunderstood. Maybe I got to develop them. Guess what? I'm going to work my butt off. I'm going to figure out how to get them to get better. And I don't have one philosophy. I'm going to find a way. And so I think that I get a lot of players that do that, and it showed with Tiara this past year. From, she was out of Oregon State, and then she came second team all region. I'm not a miracle worker, but she's amazing. And I think that is the way that I coach, and I think that's probably more the way that you would say, what is your philosophy? Is I don't give up on them, and then ceiling's high.
Coach Charlotte Morgan here, Fresno State softball, and with us here in 1430 ESPN. Coach, when you try to find the mix of player that you're looking for in your roster, is it that intangible side of things? How much is that researched from your side? The skill set, what you want out of the ball player that you want from that side, but how feverish is the research on that for you, trying to find the person who is the right mix for what you're trying to translate to the field?
I think I'm really honest. I do my research before I get there. I trust who I'm talking to. Everyone's going to tell me they're going to be the hardest worker I've ever had, right? Everyone's going to say that. And then I'll tell them my schedule and say, have you amount to that? And if it's no, then I got it. It's okay. And so for me, I'm very honest, very honest. The door is there. It's black and white. We are here to win. I'm not going to talk about winning. I'm going to talk about the process. I'm going to talk about the things that we got to take care of. It's the simple things. It's the standards. It's taking care of our property. It's taking care of our facility, taking care of being in school, and being a good person. And we're going to be in the community. And if you want all of that, this is the place. And I'm very honest. I'm black and white. There's no sugarcoat. I can't do gray. So that's kind of the conversations I have. And for me, if I can get that and I can really understand that they understand where I'm coming from, and knowing that personality can fit, there's going to be those little tangibles, like you said, athleticism, but our game's the mind. And if they believe in the total package, the strength and conditioning, the athletic training, the nutrition, the sleep, the prioritizing stress, there's a lot more that goes into it than just showing up. And some people think, well, how did you do it? A lot that you didn't see, and that's what we do as coaches. There's a lot we do that you don't see how the program works. So that's kind of how I try to do it. And again, I'm very honest, very black and white, and I allow you to be yourself. And that's something that I'm really big. I don't want the same person. I don't need 10 alphas. It's going to be we're going to be fighting all the time. So I like a mix of personalities, and I don't make you, I'm going to mentor you and I'm going to make you grow up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But if you're a quieter one, that's fine. Lead by example, but I'm also going to get you more confident to speak when you need to, and then if there's someone else, I'm going to work with that. So I am big on a total package of a team, from personalities to that. And if we get those more, I say, I want you to be here. I want you to be a Fresno State Bulldog. And I understand things different time. You're here for the right reasons.
Yeah.
You're here for school. You're here for softball. You're going to get a great education, and you're going to get this place to a winning championship again, because we will be. And if there's anything else, we're not rebuilding. We're literally reloading, redefining. If you're part of that and you understand those standards, expectations, let's go.
I know this might be maybe the tired question of what does Coach Morgan's version of softball look like, but you said something where it's like it's the same field, everybody plays in the same playing field. So where is softball at right now? The game, the way it's played, how do you see it being played, and the way you can attack the game nowadays here in this day and age?
I think I'm really lucky as a head coach to be in so many different parts of the game. I'm a hitter, I'm a pitcher, I'm a top tier first baseman. I can do a lot, but I've also coached in the pro league since I've been a college coach. I continue to help pros. I continue to help at the highest level. So I love to learn our game. And so I am constantly trying to pick people's brains about what they're doing, how they're doing it. And to me, how we get there in our style is we're going to be fast and we're going to be smart and we're not going to be robots. I want them to play free. I want them to play. I don't have a fear-based team. We're going to make errors, but I want someone behind them to have their back so we don't have big innings. I want us to be on one heartbeat, that if we are there, wherever the cards fall, we're going to lose some games. It's going to happen. But, man, if we can control what we can, we're going to be smart. We're not going to be out-coached. And that is a thing I think that with the eye that I have for some things, I'm very observant and I can see a lot in a different level. And the coaching staff I'm bringing in is the same. They love this game. We are going to prepare our team. I don't know how to prepare them any other way than elite. And so when we face that, guess what? We're going to be prepared. Nothing is going to be, oh, they're going to do this, or, oh, the game is really fast. How do we slow it down?
Yeah.
We've trained that. We've done that. We've worked that. So to me, if something gets out of context or too much for my student athletes, it's my fault. And I'm the leader, and I should prepare them for that. And if I have a good pulse with them, then I know that what they need. And so that's our job as the coaching. And so I like to play smart, fast, not nonsense, because there's a lot of reckless out there. No. And then own it. You get out, let's talk about it, own it, move on. We're going to learn from it, move on. And that's kind of the style of play, and that's what I think, that's what wins championships, is you never settle, you're always hungry, you're always getting better, you're working your butt off, but you're not overcoaching.
Yeah.
You overcoaching, then it can really hold your players back from their true potential.
I'll leave this as kind of my last question. 50 years, almost 50 years of Fresno State softball, only 6 head coaches, and you're the 6th. How much pressure do you feel of that history, that success, that there's a long string of some successful coaches that go through here? How much pressure do you feel from that a little bit?
I don't believe in pressure. I love pressure. So for me, what it shows me is that 6 coaches in this great of a program shows that there's consistency in their leadership. And I think more than anything, it takes the pressure off, because if I do my job and I do what I'm supposed to do and what my AD and them have hired me to do, I have a place where I can retire. And that is ultimately where I want to be. I'm not a coach that's like, I don't know when I'm going to ever retire. No. Like, I love this game.
Yeah.
But I will go mentor. I will go do, sport admin, continue to help females solve our game until I can't. I will always that. But I don't want to coach the rest of my life. And so to me, it's like there's consistency. They have that where if you do what you're supposed to, they're going to find a way to keep you here. And this is my home, California, and my family. So there's pressure at every job. And I think you a lot to what the pressure is. And I feel like if I do my job and I know what I'm doing and I can take accountability, I can take constructive criticism. And yeah, I know what this community wants. I know what the alumni, the fans, everyone is itching to get back. It's going to take time, but I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to take 3 to 5. No, we are going this year to win championships. And that's our job. We fall short, we're going to reload and get right back. Nothing is going to stop us. And so that to me I think it's a great opportunity. I love pressure. When I get pressure, I do better. I love love pressure. I don't know how my heart rate goes down in pressure when other people's go up. I get really calm in that situation. So I love change. I love craziness. I love when people get all emotional because I can be very calm and collective and assess things. So for me, I'm excited. It's a perfect opportunity to continue to lead this program, continue what this university and this state wants and needs and deserves. And I'm excited to lead that. And I love the pressure and I'm going to continue it. But again, it doesn't define who I am. I get to coach a great game and we will win.
Well, we can't wait to see it all happen. I know we'll few months till that gets going, but the season is it'll be right around the corner before we know it. Coach, you got me fired up. I'm excited, and can't wait to see what you do on the field. Appreciate it as always, and thanks for stopping by. Not the last time you'll be here in the studio, I'm sure.
Of course.
Appreciate it as always.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Charlotte Morgan, Fresno State softball head coach in studio. We'll be right back with more Behind the Bench right after this on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
Take me out to the ball game. Baseball is back, and it doesn't get any better than the Fieldhouse Sports Bar and Grill, indoors or on the patio. Root for your team while enjoying their famous burgers, dogs, and fries. And did you know they have the coldest beer in town? No, seriously. With 16 draft beers on tap, served in an ice-cold pint, it'll sure get you cool for the summer. The Fieldhouse Sports Bar and Grill. Food, sports, fun. On Copper Avenue at the entrance to the beautiful Copper River Ranch.
It was 106 degrees. The Johnsons were sweating, and their AC, dead silent. But 2 doors down, the Millers, cool and comfortable. Why? They called Lee's Air for a $99 AC maintenance before summer started. We catch problems before they catch you. Don't sweat the heat. Beat it. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, guaranteed. Call now or schedule at leesair.com.
So, Dad, Mom says you're both retiring next year.
That's right. Finally time to start doing all the things we've been saving for.
I love it. Have you figured out how to convert your 401ks and investments into income for that?
Actually, I have no idea how to do that. I guess I better figure it out so I can start spending your inheritance.
Just call Thiessen Duker Modern Wealth Management. I met one of their advisors at a 401k meeting. Then I had them do a complete financial plan for me.
Your mom and I could use that kind of help. But why Thiessen Duker?
Well, they're different. They use innovative software designed to show you a detailed picture of your finances. And their advisors work as a team to evaluate your retirement options from all angles. They can help you and Mom, just like they helped me.
Huh. I guess I should call Thiessen Duker.
Right. And about my inheritance, go ahead and spend it. I'm good.
The advisors of Thiessen Duker Modern Wealth Management are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
The wait is over. Valley Pure presents Crazy Horse, the wild new flower from Cowgirl Cannabis. This isn't just a strain, it's an experience. Ready to get on the wild side? Then saddle up and ride with Crazy Horse. Available now only at Valley Pure. Bold, untamed, unforgettable. Don't just hear about it, live it. Get to one of Valley Pure's 5 locations and grab your Crazy Horse today. Cowgirl Cannabis. Blaze the trail.
Hey, this is Marcus McMarion.
McMarion options to Rivers, trying to turn the corner, he'll get there. Paintered into the orange.
Your 2018 Mountain West Bulldog champion. Excited to represent Bulldog Bread, the official NIL collective of Fresno State Athletics. Become a Bulldog Bread member today. The team grows as the Valley grows.
Touchdown,
Bulldog born, Bulldog bred. Support your Fresno State student athletes by visiting bulldogbread.com. Go Dogs.
Hi, I'm Jim Schaefer with Helena Agri Enterprises. At Helena, we lead with agronomy, and crop health plays a crucial role in maximizing production. You can visit helenaagri.com to find your local Helena retailer and learn more about Helena's products and solutions. Summer temperatures and droughty conditions are rapidly approaching in the Central Valley, which isn't ideal for farming. These environmental stresses can impact yields significantly. So how do we fight against this? At Helena, we have a product called Megafol. Megafol contains a precision blend of plant extracts that improves crop vitality and helps defend against environmental stressors like heat and drought. So how does it work? Simply put, the plant extracts in Megafol upregulate genes that produce specific proteins in the crop. More of these proteins means the crop can function at a higher level under stress conditions and less energy is spent on recovery. At Helena, we lead with agronomy, and crop health plays a crucial role in maximizing production. You can visit helenaagri.com to find your local Helena retailer and learn more about Helena's products and solutions.
Behind the bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. Big thanks to Charlotte Morgan for joining us in the previous segment. Charlotte Morgan, newly hired head coach of Fresno State softball. Thought that was a really good, dynamic interview from the coach there. She said a lot of things, came out with a lot of no pulling punches, I would say, from Coach. So appreciate her time on, and I think that if you're a Fresno State fan, you got to be fired about some of these hires that are coming in. So big appreciative thank you to Charlotte Morgan for joining us in the previous segment. Guys, I thought that was a great interview. How do you guys feel about that? Julia, you play softball. If that was your softball coach, you'd be fired up, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that interview really fires you up, and I feel like you can tell that, she really cares about her athletes, and so I feel like that's definitely someone you want to play for, and I think it's exciting for this softball program that I would say is on the rise, and, I feel like she'll really build upon that, so I'm really hopeful for that.
What do you think, Tanvir? I thought there was a lot of good dynamic stuff from there, especially from her past, kind of honing in and adopting the attitude of some of the players that she has. How do you feel about how that interview went?
I mean, I love that she brought the heat. I love that she's able to coach in many different ways, as she said, and, being very in tune with your players, as she stated. I think this is going to do wonders for this program moving forward.
Absolutely. And so we'll see where it goes from there, but this is just another hallmark into the Garrett Classy hirings and what Garrett Classy's been able to do. I know I only have a little bit of time here. I've really enjoyed what Garrett Classy's been doing lately on the social media side, what he's been doing on the just being available. Last night he was on Twitter just kind of going after, not going after, but just, answering questions. A guy who can stay pretty visible in the light there, and he is not afraid to be in front of the people here in Fresno, which to me, that's the approach you need to have to fan bases like this, like Fresno State, which is a very loyal, feverish fan base, and yet also a very, I would say, cynical one when it comes to outside voices. So to me, continuing to break down those kind of things that are preventing Fresno State fans from investing more into this university, stuff like that, trusting that they can invest more into these universities, into these athletics. The playbook's being played right now in a wonderful fashion, and I think there's a lot of good coming out of this. I was just talking to Coach Morgan. Classy's pushing more availability for some of their coaches, more visibility to their coaches. Obviously, me in the media, I like that. And I hope other people like that too, right? I would imagine a coach out in the limelight is a lot better than one that is trying to focus in on what we're doing here locally. Just hope it doesn't get in the way of actual performance. But
yeah, agreed. I think to what you were saying, a coach in a limelight is definitely one. I think people like to see what the personality is for a lot of their coaches within the Fresno State region or whichever region they are in. And so I do agree with this push to kind of get them into the spotlight.
All right, so that wraps up hour number one here on 1430. We're just barely getting started here on the Central Valley Sports Leader. Of course, got a couple more hours left. Guess what's getting started here pretty soon? USA Soccer in Guatemala. Now, I only talk about soccer when it comes to the nationalistic side of things, and we are approaching the 4th of July weekend, so I am feeling very patriotic here approaching this 4 o'clock hour. So we'll preview this game coming up and just dive into some other stuff here. This next hour should be pretty good. Stay with us. Behind the Bench, rolling along on 1430 ESPN.
It would be a bit of an understatement to say there are plenty of men's clothing brands out there. At Patrick James, we're a bit biased. We offer comfortable, high-quality clothing at very competitive prices. Patrick James delivers impeccable classic looks that keep your wardrobe moving forward in a confident, modern direction. See for yourself online or come into our store on 780 West Shaw to find the style and brands you're looking for at Patrick James.
It's crunch time, and KFC's got the winning play. Right now, grab a 10-piece bucket of the Colonel's hot, crispy fried chicken, thighs, and drumsticks for just $15.99. And if you're planning on feeding the whole team, make it a meal with sides and biscuits for just $10 more. That's big-time flavor without blowing the budget. So, whether you're watching the big game or feeding your starting lineup, this bucket brings home the W. No errors, no drops, just finger-looking good chicken from KFC, where every bite is a game changer.
Whoever it was that said rainy days are followed by rainbows and pots of gold definitely wasn't in the raisin business. Rain in the wrong place at the wrong time can be a disaster, a crop disaster, and a financial disaster. In short, it can mean there's no payday for all of your labor. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be that way. The solution? Crop insurance for raisins. Bowman & Associates, your local crop insurance specialist, has been writing raisin crop insurance for over 40 years. Bowman & Associates is one of the largest crop insurance agencies in the state and the nation. Call Roger, Kent, or Quinn Bowman today and let them design a policy customized to suit your individual growing needs. Time is running out to purchase raisin insurance. With the unstable weather patterns and the current low premium rates, now is the time to call Bowman & Associates at 499-2020. That's 499-2020.
Bowman & Associates, the crop insurance specialist.
License number OF64178.
Central Valley, are you ready for a seamless car buying journey? Madera Toyota Chevrolet has you covered. With their 25-year, 250,000-mile warranty and everything priced under MSRP, you're always in for a great deal. Plus, enjoy their no-pressure policy and 2 years of free maintenance on new vehicles, their way of saying thank you for choosing them. And calling all truck lovers, explore their selection of rugged Silverados, powerful Tundras, and versatile Tacomas. Whatever your needs, they have the perfect truck for you. Visit them today at MaderaToyotaChevrolet.com, where every drive begins with trust.
Get your day started with Rich Eisen.
You can't tell the story of baseball without what Aaron Judge has been doing right now. What Aaron Judge has done over the last 3 to 4 years, for sure, is one of the greatest tears we've ever seen by a right-handed hitter. Period. End of story. He is the king of being intentionally walked. He is the ultimate guy that you don't want to have beat you. He's been that way pretty much since he came up from out of nowhere. He's absolutely a Hall of Famer if he doesn't play another game.
Rich Eisen, brought to you by Citizens Business Bank.
Are you a business owner struggling to understand how cloud technology can help your business? Are you in need of computer and technology support for your employees? M-Cubed Technologies is your solution for fully managed IT services. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. M-Cubed will be your partner in the digital world, allowing your business to carry on worry-free. We specialize in cloud hosting, Microsoft 365 management, general IT support, and VoIP phone services. Call M-Cubed Technologies today to discuss our partnerships.
It's the 4th of July, and the only thing you'll be lighting other than fireworks is the grill. And the Butcher Boss will make you the boss of your grill, starting out with the classic Santa Maria seasoned tri-tip to bring the boom to the ultimate meat flavor. We'll light the fuse to those sizzling burgers, ground fresh every day. Keep room on that grill for the 4th of July in-house made sausages that they grind every morning. So keep that fire cracking this 4th of July with the Butcher Boss. Highway 41 just south of Riverstone.
You're listening to the home of the San Francisco Giants, KFIG Fresno, 1430 ESPN.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. NBA free agency continues. Took the Lakers a while, but they finally found their center, reaching an agreement with former top pick DeAndre Ayton on a 2-year deal, including a player option. Ayton finalizing a contract buyout with the Blazers, will earn $34 million next season. Averaged 14 and 10 last year on almost 57% from the floor. He's the first player to average at least 10 points and 10 boards in each of his first 7 seasons since Dwight Howard began his career in 2004. Was the first overall pick back in 2018. Joins the number 3 selection and Luka Doncic in L.A. Meanwhile, the Knicks finally have their head coach, expecting to hire two-time Coach of the Year Mike Brown a month after firing Tom Thibodeau. New York's search took a lot of time and included some swings and misses at current coaches. SiriusXM's Frank Isola not sold. They got the right guy.
We know that they called Ime Udoka. We know that they called Jason Kidd. We know that they called Quinn Snyder and Billy Donovan and didn't get permission, but yet they could have interviewed Mark Jackson, Johnny Bryant, and they could have interviewed Michael Malone, but they decided not to. That one bewilders me. And guess what? It doesn't mean that Mike Brown's not going to get the job, but it's just interesting that they didn't go down that road.
Isola joining Joe and Q. Brown was fired by the Kings in December, helped them break a 16-year playoff drought back in 2023. Major League Baseball, Phillies and Padres capping their doubleheader. San Diego took game one this afternoon, lead at 1-0, middle of the fourth. Jackson Merrill with an RBI single.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon, coming up Thursday. With the 4th of July coming up, I'll give you my do's and don'ts to celebrate Independence Day properly. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPN News.
He's got the knowledge.
Because once again, I have to come on there and talk about how right I am once again. In anything that it comes to sports.
He's got the questions.
I'm going to lose it. Are you kidding me? What are we doing here?
He's got the guests.
20th head coach in Fresno State history here, Matt. Is it hard to believe sometimes still, the 20th head coach here in program history?
It's all moved really quickly here over the course of the last 5-6 weeks. But super excited to be here.
Phil Benotti is the voice for the Central Valley sports leader. Behind the Bench starts now. Brought to you by Helena Agri.
That's right. Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. Start of hour number 2 on our show here on 1430 ESPN. We are here live. It is a very fun afternoon of sports, which is just getting started right now. We're at 4:03 on the dot. USA and Guatemala just about kicking off. We just had the anthem play. I almost thought about standing during their intro for the anthem, but I felt like that didn't really play well on either the video or the audio part of this show. So I don't think people would have known what I was doing. But regardless, excited. USA, we're pumped up. They just did the anthems. They're about to get started. So I will say this. If I seem distracted at any point in the next 2 hours, you will know why. And you might know why Tim Veer's distracted. And even Julia. Julia's going to get behind this USA train here, USA soccer. Julia, you feel like you learn more about the USA soccer side of things every day we talk about on this show? Or
I do, and I love it. 4th of July is coming up. We have the U.S. team playing. I'm excited. I'm ready to watch this game.
All right, Tim Veer, you said you're very nervous right before we came on air. So spell it out for me. Where are your nerves at for this game right now?
Well, okay. So going into that USA Costa Rica game, I wasn't as nervous because I felt that if we were to lose that game, that we could rest on the laurels of this isn't the complete first team, and Costa Rica being a team that has been able, they're part of the upper class of CONCACAF. You should be able to see it's a 50-50 game, right? But we beat them. And we beat them in penalties in a pretty back-and-forth affair where I thought the USA actually controlled a lot of the game. This game, I get a lot of nerves. These type of games, I should say, give me a lot of nerves because you have this expectation now to win. Even though it's not your strongest roster, you're playing a team that you should beat. But this team has now upset a couple of teams. They barely lost to Panama 1-0, but they've beaten Guadeloupe. They beat Canada on penalties, and so that's where my nerves lie. If the USA are to lose, I'm not going to be surprised per se because Guatemala's a great team, and I keep reiterating that our attackers aren't the first team attackers nor the midfield, but this still should be a winnable game, especially due to our first team center back pairing of Tim Ream and Chris Richards. And also you have some great players like Malik Tillman and Diego Luna in the midfield that should control. So, yeah, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of everything, but that's what I get usually with the U.S. men's national team because, they're one of my 2 favorite teams to follow.
We have Jamaican refs. Should I be concerned?
I mean, if the Jamaican team was on the other side, I don't think you should be concerned.
I know. Clearly, there is no objectives from the CONCACAF reffing side of things as well, right?
Yeah.
There should totally be clean and all that great stuff. So
I think the refereeing has been, for the most part, it's been good, but I have seen a couple of these knockout games be a little iffy.
it's not as CONCACAF-y as it's been in the past.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what was it, Copa America? That was. I would say that was pretty CONCACAF-y.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that was like CONMEBOL refs. That was the South American Confederation because South America runs Copa America. So that's what that was. So this is a little bit more CONCACAF. I expect a lot of physicality in this game, so we'll see.
Oh, this is a horrible camera angle from Fox. I'm looking at it now as they just get the start of the game. This is so low.
Yeah, you're like a little bit ahead of me, so if you if you see something before me,
should I warn you? Or
I think I'm just like a couple of seconds away. This game has started for me too, though.
Okay, I'm at 16 and counting.
Yeah, I'm at 10. So.
Okay, all right. So we know the difference. So Tanvir, I apologize if I spoil anything for you. And sometimes I might be too lost in my thoughts where I just kind of look up as far as that's concerned. But let's go big question here because we are what are we less than a year? No, we're less than a year from from the World Cup. So and yes, we know some of these players for the United States. This is not the full-blown United States team, but winning a tournament like this before the World Cup, does it put a Band-Aid on a larger wound that is still there in the the U.S. men's national team, or do you feel like this can be a building block to something next summer? Because I'm telling you, my mental health is relying a lot on how successful we are next year.
I think that maybe from there's a little bit of a different angle for this, right? I think from the coaching perspective is the largest W if we are to win this Gold Cup, because I think Mauricio Pochettino was brought in as one of the most premier hires in terms of coaching that the United States has ever put in place, right? And so he hasn't had that great of a start due to the lack of informity that the United States was in. And so I think that Mauricio Pochettino would probably have the biggest win if they were to get through, because I think it'll validate his hiring a little bit. I also think that some of these players that are on the fringe of the roster that may not necessarily, they weren't even looked at to make the roster for the World Cup next year, may have a look with this coach. I think guys like Malik Tillman, guys like Diego Luna, I think Matt Freese, the goalkeeper, and also some of these fullbacks that are vying for backup fullback spots like Arston and Alex Freeman can definitely have a stock up in a sense if they are to have a successful last two games in this tournament.
Yeah, I've gotten a sense that at least from last year when we were providing the criticisms of this team, the criticisms that I feel like were levied upon it, is that the United States quite simply feels like that some of these players have been coddled to a certain level of where they feel like they are as good as they can be, but they are not. They'd have faced the harsh truths of what could be facing them if there is a massive failure in 2026. I don't know if the heat has been turned because of obviously the coaching change. Do they feel that internally? Do they feel like the roster, some of these players feel that pressure finally and says, okay, you cannot be spoon-fed these that you could be told that you could be a very good player in this program. You need to be proving it. I wonder if that has filtered in from last year's feeling in the summer to this year's feeling in this tournament.
I think that to give a context to some of our viewers, I think that
we just got a goal.
United States.
We just got a goal.
Luna?
Yeah,
let's go.
There it is. United States just scored. three minutes in the fourth minute there. There you go.
Yeah. So, anyways, what I was saying, to give a context to some of our viewers, the United States in this era have one of the largest batch of players in the European continent. Europe is obviously where the best soccer teams for club are. You have guys like Christian Pulisic playing for AC Milan at a very high level. Johnny Cardoso is playing at Real Betis at a very high level. Tyler Adams playing at Bournemouth in the Premier League. Weston McKennie and Tim Weah playing for Juventus. So you have such a great pool of players But the issue is they have been dubbed this golden generation, but have not had the big ticket victory that some prior generations have had. So that's what we're looking for. I think the magnitude of the 2026 World Cup is honestly being undersold sometimes, because if the United States is to do something special in this World Cup, it is going to put a highlight on the game of soccer so much that you may have kids that are going to want to be a soccer player growing up. So it is imperative that the United States do well, not only in this tournament, but also in the World Cup. So I'm going to be interested to see the mix of like first team players with these players that are in this tournament right now.
Well, you just mentioned Diego Luna before he just scored this goal, and I want to describe the goal we just saw, which was it was kind of a shot just outside of the box that deflected off the goal. It looked like the left back just got completely lost. He totally lost Luna there, and Luna came from the backside of him and just caught the deflection of the goalie and just put it right back into the left corner. Or I would say, the left corner of the goal where he was facing. So off a deflection, it seemed like the Guatemala left back just was totally lost. Just had no idea where Diego Luna was.
Just ball watching.
Yeah.
But also, that ball comes right off of the goalkeeper, Nicholas Hagen, the guy that I was talking about. He's still not starting in this game. It's Navarro. And so that might be a little bit of an issue. But a great start for the United States.
So they're off and running. Usually the response after this goal is that, hey, it's in the window saying what's up. Yes, USA. I'm surprised. I think he's rooting for the United States because he wants Mexico USA on Sunday. I think that's where we're at. I think the intentions are. But anyways, I would say this is favorable, but also this is a very key next 5-10 minutes for the United States, because usually when you score, then you rest on your laurels. That's the United States way. You score and rest on your laurels for about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, I think that it's imperative in these next 15 minutes that we get some type of goal, or at least an action that's dangerous towards goal. The United States have been, they've been eyeing that second goal in these past couple of tournaments, but they just have not got it. And they let Costa Rica back in the game last time, right? And so that's got to be a big key to not have Guatemala score it soon, just so we keep that momentum going.
Some players down. It looks like the guy who lost Luna on the backside, but we're going to find. No, never mind. It's a different player. Oh, no, it is. Yeah, it's for number 5. Yeah. It's already a tough day for number 5 on Guatemala. I don't know who that is. But down in, I think he should be fine. But he's the guy who lost Diego Luna there on the last goal. So crazy stuff already here for the United States. 1-0 now into what will be approaching the 8th minute of this match. So this is exactly how you draw it up. This is how you get things started here in this game for sure. I wanted to go back and let's take a little bit of time away from this game, and we'll react to it as accordingly when we get to it. I want to go back to what I was talking about with Garrett Classy a little bit. Fresno State athletic director. Just I want to go 5 minutes on this real quick. But I mentioned, and for people who are out there on the Twitterverse, there were some things thrown out that it said, if you're a donor base, you're not going to get 100% of your money to certain aspects and of the athletic department that you want to donate to. And immediately Classy was out there just kind of responding to what was very much misinformation being thrown out there. Seems to be a lot of that from a lot of people out there. And I would say just be careful where you get that source of information from. Double check it, all that stuff. It's good journalism, honestly. And so to me, nothing pleases me more than an administrator putting it plainly. Actually, Garrett Classy, in fact, came out with some basically kind of a big filler statement to everybody in the public about kind of the things happening, which to me, it was very wordy. There was a lot said in it. He mentioned some stuff about the Pac-12. He mentioned Shakira. He mentioned, the new leadership with the head coaches coming in. He mentioned some of the great things that our athletics have done, thanking the Red Wave, all this stuff coming out as far as the strategic planning and all that great stuff coming out. I don't know if it's just me just being ignorant to the fact of what other universities do, but I'll tell you this is something Fresno State has never had, which is, to me, transparency. To me, Fresno State athletics has sat a long time in complacency, in status quo, in taking in a paycheck and making sure the thing doesn't run into the ground. And to me, I like the chances here from Garrett Classy to put it like it is, give you the bird's eye view, and provide the fans some knowledge that they absolutely need, especially when you're in a time where public opinion is so important when you're asking for dollars. You are asking for dollars more than any other time in college sports than right now. And you need an athletic administrator, athletic administration that can provide the transparency, because face it, you're not going to give money if you don't know what you're donating to. And so I just love what I've been seeing from it. And I know it sounds like me just kind of being a guy who defends the guy who's out there, but like, what else do you want from your administration than what is happening right now on the social media tour, on all of the stuff that he's been putting out in this release he put out today? Frankly, it's a breath of fresh air that we sit here with Fresno State, but let it be known, we're all feeling great about it, and we got to find out what the results are yielded here from it, because obviously he adopted the football season coming through. He kind of adopted the basketball situation, baseball situation he's adopted. We're now starting to potentially move into the era here of what Classy's vision is as far as the success of athletics. So that has yet to be judged right now as far as that's concerned. But right now, at the beginning stages, this is exactly what you need to do as an administrator. I don't know if you guys have any more thoughts on what I just kind of pointed out here, but to me, to be frank, this is as good as you can start it, but let's be fair. Let's be measured in where we're at maybe a year from now, because I think results are important when it comes to what you actually have in athletics.
Yeah, I definitely think that results are important, but I really like what he's doing, and I feel like transparency is the biggest thing that the community wants to see. And if you've been following his X, like we have, you've seen some of its tweets that are transparent, and he's being honest. And I mean, he said he has personally visited, him and the Bulldog Foundation have personally visited 53 cities across the valley.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people want to see, and I feel like you don't see that often, and so I feel like that's very respectable. And, I'm hoping that this can continue through our athletics with what he's trying to do.
What about from your perception, Tim Veer? Have you seen administration like this as hands-on as it can be with its fan base? I do see, like, Fresno State fans, I think they respect more the fact that they're being talked to as opposed to, getting what blown up their what anytime they're coming asking for money, right?
Yeah, I honestly think that people love that, and I think we've wanted a reinvigoration of the Fresno State fan base for a very long time, and I think this is a great start on how to do it. Now, ultimately, as you said, results are going to be the biggest thing, and if the results do come in, then that's just going to compound upon this positivity that we're seeing, and that's just going to make for a better Fresno State athletic program.
And Classy knows that. Classy knows results are important, and like I said, let's be honest. We have not yet seen the results yet from this situation. The first time we will see it is what Fresno State will do, especially kicking off against Kansas in we're 7 weeks away now, or I don't know how many days we are away, but we're getting closer. I
believe it's like 52 days.
We're getting close to opening up with Kansas in week 0, so it's going to be interesting to watch. Speaking of that matchup, hey, we're going to do a new segment each week. We're going to preview each Fresno State opponent on a weekly basis. And guess what we get to start to do right next in this segment here, coming up next, right after this commercial break. We're going to break down Kansas, let you know about what the Jayhawks are, who they are, what is going to be Kansas Jayhawk football coming into 2025. What is Fresno State facing in week 0? We talk about Kansas football coming up next on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. Hey guys, Phil Benotti here from Behind the Bench to tell you about my friends at Clovis Truck Center. That's right. You've heard me talk about getting ready for the summer. Well, now it's here. And if you still haven't gotten those things you need, quit slacking off. That's right. I'm talking to you. Get your vehicle ready for some summer fun, especially around the 4th of July weekend. Clovis Truck Center offers roof racking not just for trucks, but for SUVs and cars as well, so you can bring all that gear you need for that weekend getaway. They can also get you ready for towing as well, whether it's for that RV or boat that you plan to take up to the lake on a hot summer weekend. And if you're in a pinch, Clovis Truck Center can have you in and out as quickly as the same day with all they provide. They have all the things you need in stock, so it's right there in the shop. No waiting on a part to be shipped in and out the same day. Be sure to stop by Clovis Truck Center today, just located south of the Clovis Rodeo Grounds in Old Town Clovis. Remember,
They're the first, the biggest, and still the best in the Central Valley.
At FFB, we know behind every business is a person. That's why we're more than a bank. We're a partner, a farming-focused bank for hard workers, a future-forward bank for big dreamers, and a family-friendly bank for the next generation of owners. From first ideas to major milestones, we're here to help you chase your goals and score big. So what can FFB mean for your business? Find out at ffb.bank. That's ffb.bank. FFB Bank. Let's win together.
ESPN Fresno is now live on all your favorite social media platforms. Check out our Facebook, X, and Instagram to name a few for a live look at Behind the Bench in studio. 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Listen and watch Behind the Bench on our socials.
Going, almost gone. The giant $5 million furniture disposal sale at Fashion Furniture in Fresno is almost over. It's the final day. Be near the doors when they swing open Thursday, 10 a.m. sharp. The final days of the giant $5 million furniture disposal sale at Fashion Furniture Fresno. Don't dare miss it.
Craving something different? Lynn's Restaurant Group has a variety of spots to satisfy every craving. If you're in the mood for teppanyaki and sushi, Hino Oishi offers an unforgettable Japanese experience. For bold, flavorful Chinese dishes, Spicy J's has exactly what you're looking for. Enjoy a hot pot experience at J-Pot and top it off with boba from JT Inside. Whether dining in or ordering out, every meal is memorable. Visit lynsrestaurantgroup.com to learn more.
Roger Dunn has the new Callaway Paradigm AI smoke drivers to take your game to the next level. State-of-the-art technology. They've created the most advanced driver face in the history of Callaway Golf. The AI Smart Face is designed to create a sweet spot, and not just the center, but all over the face. AI smoke drivers, fairway irons, and putters. The AI Smoke Driver, it's sweeter from every spot. Paradigm AI Smoke Drivers. Remember, you're always number one at Roger Dunn.
Are you tired of waiting forever for your prescriptions? Grizzly Pharmacy is here to tame your healthcare needs. We fill most prescriptions in 15 minutes or less, always accepting new patients, and enjoy free delivery to your home or workplace in Fresno and Clovis. We accept all major insurance, including Medi-Cal, Blue Cross, and Optum Rx. For our Fresno location, please call 559-424-0423 or visit grizzlypharmacy.com for more information.
Need cash? If you've got a car, we've got the cash. Clausen Honda wants to buy your car. If it's running, we want your late model Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, Subaru, Acura, or Honda. Just call Clausen and ask for our VUP to schedule your appraisal appointment. In just 10 minutes, you'll get your cash value quote. Yes, we are eliminating the hassle of getting rid of your used old car. So if you're ready to sell, we are ready to buy. Call Clausen Honda of Fresno today. If you've got a car, we've got the cash. Get cash for your car. Clausen Honda.
Leader here for our second hour of our show. Guess what, soccer fans? We score again. 2-0 USA over Guatemala. 15 minutes into this one? The U.S. soccer team is looking fantastic so far. They put the gas pedal on, but obviously I'm never satisfied. Let's keep scoring. Let's keep it rolling here. Diego Luna, 2 goals in the first 15 minutes of this game. A hot start like this, but like I said, as a cynical United States fan, that's a lot of time to blow a 2-0 lead. right, Tanvir?
Yeah, but I think with the defensive solidity that we've had, especially in the middle of the field, like this team is good enough to just play this game out. But I agree with you. The more goals, the better. Let's just keep trying to score. This midfield, as I said, right, has been so good at just controlling the ball and moving the ball around. It's just been a little bit of inconsistency at the top. But yeah, 2 goals, Diego Luna. I hope you never have to pay for a drink in your life ever again in the United States. But we keep going.
If he scores like this in the World Cup, that surely would solidify it for him. So
I don't think he has to pay for food at that point.
Yeah, anything. American hero right there. So United States looking pretty good so far, and are hoping to roll in this semifinal. It is good when you have momentum moving into, I would say, the end game of this tournament. So we'll see how it all plays out. Okay, so we're going to do a segment, and we call it a weekly segment here with our Fresno State football schedule. Fresno State football plays August 23rd. That is not too long away for us here. If I'm doing the count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks from now and some change. So there's, I believe, 12 opponents on the schedule. So we are going to try to go through the entire Fresno State schedule leading up to the first week of college football and talk extensively about the opponents that Fresno State is facing. And so we're going to take this week to talk about the 2024 Kansas Jayhawks, what it looks like moving forward for 2025. We've taken some notes. We've talked about it all here, and we're gonna dive in to Jayhawks football and the state of it going into next year, which is an interesting one, right? Because I would argue if you had to talk about tough luck football teams all of last year, Kansas, I would say, power ranked number 1 is the most tough luck team out there when it came to the results, came to their record. 5-7 overall record last year. But if you look at their losses, how many one possession losses did they have? 6 of them were by, I would believe, 5 of them, by less than a possession. So, some crazy results for Kansas. Everybody kind of pointing to Kansas as a team that is probably a lot better than what their record was. They were ranked 22nd to start the year. And then, some wild results when they lost to UNLV, when they lost to Illinois. Some crazy stuff with Kansas over the end of the year, who had a shot at getting into a bowl game by beating Baylor at Baylor in the final week of the season, but boat raced against Baylor 45-17. So Kansas, Julia, you've done some research on the Kansas Jayhawks football team. You know them from the Big 12 side of things. So what do we know about Kansas from last year?
Yeah, so like you said, they had some tough losses kind of in the beginning of the season to Illinois, West Virginia, TCU. I mean, UNLV was pretty good, but they also, at the end of their season, had some huge wins. I mean, they beat number 6 ranked BYU, number 16th Colorado, number 17th Idaho State, So, I mean, they are a good team, and I feel like their record really doesn't go to show how good they truly are. And I mean, just looking over their season, I was at the ASU game last year. I mean, we barely won that game in the last 16 seconds. So, I mean, they're a good team. They really are. Quarterback Jalen Daniels, he'll be throwing to a lot of new transfers, which I think is interesting since we're week 0, first game of the year. Will they have that chemistry there? That's what I'm not so sure about, and that's where I think the Bulldogs can really kind of get their way in there.
Tanvir, what's the big headline for you for Kansas football as we're taking a look at it from a bird's eye view?
I think it's the loss of Devin Neal to the draft. I think Devin Neal was so good for this team offensively, and he was the main part. It was a tandem between Jalen Daniels and Devin Neal. I think if you look at those losses at the start of the year, Devin Neal himself was on another level. Like, he had in this week 2 loss, he had 101 yards, 120 against UNLV, 110 against West Virginia, and the win against Colorado at the end of the year, which was the big win, including the one against BYU, he combined for 259 yards over those 2 games. So losing him is big, and I think the transfer portal talent coming in at wide receiver, O-line, and D-line can alleviate, or wide receiver and O-line especially, can alleviate that offense of, like, that black hole basically that's gone right there. But I think that the Jalen Daniels effect can definitely come, into this game very, very early.
Yeah, Jalen Daniels, I guess, is the headline player coming into this season for Kansas. He is the guy that there's a lot of potential with Jalen Daniels, especially with what you saw towards the tail end. Like you said, he was knocking off some top 25 teams, Iowa State, BYU. let's be fair, I didn't think much highly of Colorado, but Colorado's got a type, whatever Colorado was. But they beat Colorado 3 straight times. But then there's the volatility of it. Then when Kansas needs to win it the most, it does not happen for them. But sometimes when you're battle tested like that, like I've seen this sometimes with the Fresno State teams before, you can turn it around real quick and make things happen. Lance Leopold's got, as a head coach, has got some track record. Obviously, he's turned Kansas into a team that obviously Kansas was such a laughingstock pre-2020, even in 2021, but there's some serious juice with Kansas, especially 2 years ago. And if you argue a few plays going the other way, Kansas could be in that conversation of having a 9-win season again like they did a couple years ago. So if you're a Kansas fan, you say last year blip in the radar, we're much better than what our record says it is. We had some crazy, weird losses, like you said, Julia, last second to Arizona State. Wasn't there the weird, crazy Hail Mary play that happened before half for the UNLV game that basically kind of turned the game for them against UNLV, if I'm remembering correctly, on a Friday. And there's many different conversations where it could head. Kansas, by the way, also opening up a new stadium. There's a new era of Kansas football because there's a lot more investment in Kansas football. That's the other thing that's standing in front of them as far as that's concerned. And so I think there's going to be a lot of interesting intrigue when it comes to that storyline going in for the Jayhawks per se. What do they do well? You said it right. They played offense. Pretty decent offense for them, right? They can score when they need to, but sometimes, like it said, it was streaky. And you mentioned some of the new targets that they'll have as far as that's concerned, and maybe in week 0, you're going to see that volatility of them trying to figure it out as far as that's concerned. But let's be fair, the Bulldogs are doing the same thing. So, do we feel like it's kind of a look in the mirror sometimes with these two teams of where the volatility of the offense can be? But maybe you ticket to Kansas a little bit just because they have the quarterback who was playing there last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is definitely two very, I would say, similar teams in a way. I feel like Kansas definitely struggled. And, like, per se, in the beginning of the season, when they played some not as good teams, they lost. And I feel like that's where maybe Fresno State can come through. Maybe they'll underestimate them. But, again, they're going through the same situation where do they have that chemistry as there's a bunch of new transfers coming in?
The defense is going to have a new look. Tanvir, they're going to have some big names coming back. It looks like Dean Miller, who is a pretty decent guy when it comes to TFLs. He's back on the roster, but other than that, I'm reading reports that their D-line or defensive coordinator is looking to kind of just simplify things, and sometimes simplifying things makes things a lot better for a team that's trying to understand what it is moving forward. So, but I wonder where Fresno State can attack on this defense is the ground and pound side of things, because if you got a guy who's coming back who's good at TFL, to me, either he is affecting the run game or he's a guy that can kind of rush the passer per se in that aspect. And if you're going to be a ground and pound team like Matt Entz wants to be, that can be a little concerning when there's a guy who's blowing up the line a little bit. And I wonder if that can cause some concern for Fresno State fans if the game script goes that way against Kansas.
And maybe, to counteract that type, if they are in that situation where they are consistently getting stuffed, using the screen game to kind of open it up in the pass game too. Obviously, we don't know our quarterback situation, but I think that, relying on that play action and screen game also is going to be big in this specific game, because I think there will be pockets where Fresno State is not generating enough offense on the ground, even though we have a very talented offensive system and new coaching staff coming in, but every game has lulls in it, and I think that having backup plans is going to be very necessary, and I think they can get that with the screen and the play action. And I also just saw that their former 4-star cornerback is also entering the transfer portal, Demarius McGee. So maybe that gives more leeway to going into that play action passing game.
Julia, is there any kind of is there statistics that stand out, or what's the thing that stands out to you most that Fresno State fans should know about Kansas from a year ago, statistically wise? Did you have anything that kind of popped up for you?
I mean, I feel like one of the things that popped up for me was that they were 4-2 at home, and I think coming out, as we said earlier, they were playing at Chiefs Arrowhead Stadium before as their stadium was being renovated, and they're going to be back this season. I feel like a little bit on the worrisome side, they're going to come out wanting to play in their brand new renovated stadium, and they're going to want to win. And so I feel like that is a little bit concerning based on this Kansas team, but I feel like it's definitely a winnable game. And, you know, this Fresno State team does well against good opponents.
It's not a look-ahead game for Kansas, too, either, because guess what they got coming up that following week? They got Wagner at home, so it's not like they're looking up ahead to opponent. So Kansas is going to be focused on Fresno State. Yeah, they get a Missouri in a couple weeks, but that's too early for you to be focusing on whatever you got. The Kansas-Missouri game, which we know is a big rivalry, per se, between these two schools. So Kansas ain't looking ahead at Fresno State as opposed to maybe what Michigan was doing in week 1 last year when we were playing them, when Michigan was looking, what was it, Texas they had the next week, I believe, was the big game for Michigan in week 2. So we're not going to catch Kansas off guard because they're looking at a big game moving forward. So there's that angle of it for Fresno State is be ready for the opponent in front of you as far as that's concerned. I wonder what pass rush is going to do for this Bulldog team. I remember last year, is Jalen Daniels, is he mobile? He's a mobile guy, right?
I remember, you were asking her about like her experience looking at Jalen Daniels. I remember Kansas played Arkansas in the Liberty Bowl, not last year but the year before, and that was an absolute great game. And he definitely showed that he can do it both on the wheels and through the air.
I'm looking at rushing yards, and after Devin Neal, Jalen Daniels, 439 yards, 4.7 yards per rush. I specifically remember Fresno State lacking discipline in running quarterbacks to the issue where there were first downs being created from rushing quarterbacks last year. It was so inconsistent in the ability to stop guys from getting to the outside, quarterback contain, possible spy situation. This is going to be as good of a test as anybody to go up against the start because, as we know in the college game, running the ball with the quarterback is a strength for a lot of teams. And so mobile quarterback scheme for the Bulldogs where tackling him on first contact. We had a lot of issues last year in tackling on first contact situations when it's getting behind the pocket. I remember standing behind the pocket on the football field at Bulldog Stadium when watching guys kind of escape through after some missed tackles. Fresno State was so critical mistakes in that situation. So I think that, judging by what Jalen Daniels can be as an athlete, just simply on the athleticism side of things, such a key in this game to start the year is, am I going to see tackles finished against him? Are we going to see contain against him? Are we going to see good angles against him? And I think you can protect yourself in the passing aspect of it. Yeah, he's got an okay arm as far as that's concerned. It's nothing, I would say, flashy per se. His completion percentage only sit at 57% last year. It's not like he is going to pick you apart if you give him the easy throws, but serviceable with the arm. But like I said, the legs are going to be the thing that is going to kill you, and I need the Bulldogs to be ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, and I feel like this defense is really going to need to be on their game. They have a new Iowa transfer, LaShawn Williams, who ran for over 800 yards 2 years ago. I believe, I'm not sure if he was hurt or what was the circumstance, but he didn't play as much last year. But we know what he can do, and I feel like that's something that this Bulldog team really needs to look out for, especially because, like you said, our defense has struggled in the run game.
And stopping the run initially, right off the start, forcing Kansas into that passing situations, getting behind the sticks. It's harder said than done, especially in the early parts of these games. So maybe pressuring early with the offense and scoring early feels like the game script you have to go. That's just winning football in general. When it comes to what you're doing on the road, it's so important to have that momentum on the road. Shut up that whole crowd per se. But Tanvir, do you feel? I mean, where do you sit on the rushing quarterback aspect of it and what Jalen Daniels can provide, judging by what Fresno State had issues with last year? Do you follow me on the logic there of like Fresno State has to be just more fundamentally sound this year when it comes to that.
Yeah, agreed. I think they did have a little bit of trouble last year when it came to those type of quarterbacks. And Jalen Daniels is going to give you trouble if you aren't really ready for that. I think that the loss of Devin Neal is a big loss because he provided that great 1-2 punch and allowed Jalen Daniels to work that quarterback run system. And so it's going to be interesting to see how these new running backs coming in, or a guy like Daniel Highshaw Jr., who rushed for 376 yards last year with a 5.8 yards per carry average. Like, are these guys going to step up? And if Fresno State is up to the task, I think that you are going to see a little bit of struggle in the passing game, and it's up to this Fresno State secondary to kind of lock that part of the game down. But I think it starts in the trenches, especially in this game. So it's going to be big on all these D linemen that really struggled to kind of fix it up.
Anyone want to take a guess at how many times Fresno State has played Kansas in football in the history of college football?
Oh, I researched this last month, but I don't remember. I think it's 3 times or something.
You got a
Yeah,
guess,
my
Jim?
guess was going to be 3.
0. This is our first ever matchup with the Jayhawks. We played Kansas State 3 times, but we have not played Kansas. So this will be a first in history, is Jayhawks versus Bulldogs on the football field. So there's that historical aspect to it. So honestly, we won't know exactly what to expect with it as far as that's concerned. But like I said, and we were talking maybe in the big picture of the Pac-12 side of things, a win like this not only helps you for this season, but it can help build the perception of the Pac-12 if you can beat a Big 12 opponent like this. I hate to put that weight on Fresno State because of that, but that is the battle you have to win here when it comes to the larger picture of it. This game matters a lot for the Bulldogs moving forward, not just for this season specifically, but for 4 years, 8 years down the road, continuing to build the resume of what the new Pac-12 is, and nobody and allowing not allowing the opinion that Pac-12 is kind of this offshoot Mountain West thing or this offshoot non-Power 4 conference or whatever it is. If you want to be involved in maybe being the Power 5 conversation, you can be. This is a game you need to win. This is the duty the Bulldogs have if they want to carry the flag of the Pac-12 moving forward into a new era.
And I like that they've challenged themselves early in the year, this year and last year. You had the Michigan game last year where they played pretty well for 3 quarters, and then it kind of just collapsed in the fourth. But I think that this is another opportunity, as you said, to kind of put Fresno State football on the map as this big group of 5, I guess you can say, team. But yeah, I think this is also big for the Pac-12's mentality moving forward in what they want to do in terms of college football playoff berths even, right? And I think this is going to be, big in that aspect especially.
Right. Julie, I'm not saying with this game, if they win it, it's not going to turn a tide, but it is just a notch. It's a notch and another notch. You can continue to build those notches to the respect of the Pac-12. That's how other conferences turned into where they are now. The SEC was not as dominant in the 90s, per se, as some other conferences were. Pac-12 was as big as it was in the mid-2000s. Big Ten suddenly kind of emerging as the big thing. The perception changes, and it all is directly affected by results.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is really true, especially with, I feel like, the Big 12 and, I don't know, maybe this is just bias, but I feel like I compare Arizona State and Fresno State to kind of similar teams that have, struggled. And for me, watching Arizona State last year, it was just little wins that you kept building upon. And I feel like with Fresno State, that's what you need. Whether they win or lose this first game, it's going to the next game, and it's just trying to get a win and keep stacking and building upon that.
And I'm not saying, when I think of how the Bulldogs are facing this Kansas team, I'm not asking you to try to justify, who was the worst Big 12 team last year? Does anybody, was TCU bad? I'm trying to remember who the worst bad football.
It might have been TCU. I don't think they were that bad, though.
I'm trying to look for it here. Give me a sec, because the Big 12 conference was a big, cluster, Oklahoma State was bad. There we go. We're not going to the basement cellar here of the Big 12. We are playing a team that had a shot at had 3 top 25 wins last year. So there's a perception of the Kansas thing. Now you kind of hope that Kansas is up from a year ago as well, and that's what's going to change with the perception. If you beat Kansas and Kansas is suddenly a 3-9 team, then the win's going to lose its luster. But I'll go around the room here real quick. What is our realistic prediction for this game? Do we feel like the Bulldogs? Is it fair? I try to leave the bias out of it. Do we feel like the percentage chance of this Bulldogs team pulling it off? Where do we sit on the confidence level if we go scale 1 to 10? I think that's where I'll go for each game. Scale 1 to 10. How do you feel confident in the Bulldogs getting a victory here?
I think for me, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give this like a 6.5, 7. I think that Kansas presents a lot of issues that we've been accustomed to not being that good at. But I also think this being a road game is going to be a tough test. So I'm going to give us a 6.5, 7, barring, I think mainly because our quarterback, not saying our quarterback situation is bad, but you would like to see the quarterback be kind of solidified. You'd like to know who's playing quarterback. Right. So that's my main concern, not necessarily the quality of the quarterback itself.
Julia, what about you?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a very similar range. I want to give us like in between a 6 and a 7. I know Tanvir just said that, but I feel like we do really have a chance, and I feel like this game is sort of similar to Michigan last year. And I mean, they played really well against Michigan, and I mean, Kansas is not as good as Michigan was, so I feel like this is definitely a winnable game. It's just the little things that we talked about, the quarterback, chemistry, and stuff like that, which Kansas is also facing. So I feel like it's just going to be who is better prepared at week 0.
Yeah. I sit between 5 and 6, just quite simply based on the new cast of characters that come in, the new cast of roster that comes in for Matt Entz. Not saying that Matt Entz is not going to prepare them for this game. It is just a matter of executing and just seeing it all come together on the football field in an actual game scenario. Can they pick it up and have an opportunity to make things happen? Yes, but Kansas, I feel like, has more consistency coming into the game, especially quarterback position, somewhat on the defensive side. I just worry of the quick turnaround nature of it too, being week 0, being a home opener, being a new stadium, that kind of aspect to it. But I also recognize the talent that's on this Bulldog team, but it is younger of a roster, and I just wonder if 4 quarters is too much of this team being able to sustain a possible what would we call it, an upset. I don't know if I have the line in front of me. I could look it up. But
yeah, I think I was seeing that Kansas was like a 14-point favorite,
which is a little high. That's a little high for me.
That's a little high, yeah. Let me double check that.
I'd put this at like 9.5.
Yeah, the spread is 14.
I'd put that at 9.5 if I was realistically.
I would take that plus 14 for Fresno State.
I'd take it. I'd take it for sure. Any other notes on Kansas before we say goodbye to the Kansas Jayhawks before week 0? Any other notes, or are we good on it?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good.
Kansas Jayhawks coming up this season for the Bulldogs week 0. Cannot wait for was it August 23rd? Is that right? August 23rd, Saturday. 8 Saturdays from now. All right. Stay with us. We'll wrap up the hour here, and we'll come back with more edition of Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
At Citizens Business Bank, we've been taking a personal approach to banking for over 40 years and are consistently recognized as one of the top-performing banks in the nation. Hi, I'm Susan Woosner, Senior Vice President and Manager of Citizens Business Bank in Fresno. We believe in the importance of building long-lasting and genuine relationships with our customers. We want to provide you with the solutions you need to grow your business because your success is our success. Citizens Business Bank, member FDIC.
All viruses mutate over time, including the virus that causes COVID-19, making it important to understand each variant's effects. Manoj Gandhi, Senior Medical Director of Genetic Test Solutions at Thermo Fisher.
While most mutations have no impact, some affect transmission, infection rates, and more. In the case of COVID-19,
We are seeing spikes in the number of cases with varying levels of impact, ranging from mild cold symptoms to even hospitalizations and death, as well as the potential to impact vaccine efficacy.
SARS-CoV-2 uses the spike protein to attach to host cells. This protein is used for development of vaccines, diagnostics, and medications. Changes here can impact the efficacy of these countermeasures. Dr. Gandhi stresses the importance of continued testing.
Even as COVID-19 restrictions are eased, efficient testing supported through the use of reliable technologies are imperative to watch for surges and to properly adapt our public health strategies to mitigate risk for the population.
To learn more, visit thermofisher.com/coronavirus poster.
Hey guys, Phil Benotti here to say a big thank you to all that participated in our Student Athlete of the Week program. It has been an amazing year of sports, and we have seen some fantastic achievements in and outside of the classroom. We want to thank all of our sponsors throughout the season, including a big thank you to the Fieldhouse, who is hosting this year's Student Athlete of the Year banquet. Be sure to swing by the Fieldhouse for all their daily food specials Monday through Friday. Student Athlete of the Week will return next season. We look forward to honoring the next wave of athletes in the Central Valley.
At FFB, we know behind every business is a person. That's why we're more than a bank. We're a partner, a farming-focused bank for hard workers, a future-forward bank for big dreamers, and a family-friendly bank for the next generation of owners. From first ideas to major milestones, we're here to help you chase your goals and score big. So what can FFB mean for your business? Find out at ffb.bank. That's ffb.bank. FFB Bank. Let's win together.
Central Valley, are you ready for a seamless car buying journey? Madera Toyota Chevrolet has you covered. With their 25-year, 250,000-mile warranty and everything priced under MSRP, you're always in for a great deal. Plus, enjoy their no-pressure policy and 2 years of free maintenance on new vehicles, their way of saying thank you for choosing them. And calling all truck lovers, explore their selection of rugged Silverados, powerful Tundras, and versatile Tacomas. Whatever your needs, they have the perfect truck for you. Visit them today at MaderaToyotaChevrolet.com, where every drive begins with trust.
Whoever it was that said rainy days are followed by rainbows and pots of gold definitely wasn't in the raisin business. Rain in the wrong place at the wrong time can be a disaster, a crop disaster and a financial disaster. In short, it can mean there's no payday for all of your labor. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be that way. The solution? Crop insurance for raisins. Bowman & Associates, your local crop insurance specialist, has been writing raisin crop insurance for over 40 years. Bowman & Associates is one of the largest crop insurance agencies in the state and the nation. Call Roger, Kent, or Quinn Bowman today and let them design a policy customized to suit your individual growing needs. Time is running out to purchase raisin insurance. With the unstable weather patterns and the current low premium rates, now is the time to call Bowman & Associates at 499-2020. That's 499-2020.
Bowman & Associates, the crop insurance specialist.
License number OF64178.
Behind the bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. I have no time to do our 50 states and 50 days trivia right now, so we'll have to save that for the third hour as well. Also, MLB All-Stars have come out. Starters have been released, so I'll get to that in a little bit. But USA is fighting for its life to keep it 2-0 right now over Guatemala. I'd say they're doing a pretty good job. There's a few chances in the box for that. For the Guatemala side, but overall, if it holds for another minute here, Tanvir, I would grade this half out to be, I would say, a B+, A- half for this U.S. soccer team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd give it an A- before I jinx myself, and we let up a goal for some reason right now within this next minute, which hopefully
God forbid.
we don't. But yeah, so far I'd say it's an A-. I think the defensive solidity has been there. I think that the 2 goals early are big for this United States team, and I think that if they can go into this half and reset and add some flair to this team up top, because I think, I'm sorry, Patrick Agyemang is playing terribly. He has been, I mean, I'm not going to say terrible. He just hasn't been the guy that we need up top. I think Damian Downs is a much better forward And he, again, Agyemang for the third game in a row has not been playing to his fullest potential. So I think if we can change that up with a terrible cross right there, if we could change that up, then I think we will win this game. But I think the key is to get into this half up 2-0, and it looks like we're going to do that.
Looks like it. We have just hit the third minute of stoppage time. There was 3 minutes put on the stoppage time clock, and I believe, yes, we are at halftime of the USA and Guatemala matchup. So there we go, 2-0 United States. As we get to the end of this hour, I believe we will close the show without knowing the final result, but we will be on pins and needles if it gets a little tighter in the second half. So sticking with it here. All right, so what do we got to get to next segment? We got a lot of things in the next hour. We got a 5 of 5 to get to. We got my 50 States in 50 Days trivia. We got to acknowledge some of the MLB All-Stars as well. Also, Bullard basketball. We're going to get a chance to chat real quick with Tim Amundsen, head coach of Bullard basketball. There's a lot going on with them as far as just some awful news. We heard $40,000 worth of fireworks robbed from them at their fireworks stand. We're going to try to get the word out, see what you can do to help Bullard boys basketball out. So we'll have Coach Amundsen on in this next hour. So we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we have the third and final hour of our show. Jam-packed stuff talking about sports here on 1430 ESPN. Stay with us. Central Valley Sports Leader rolls along here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
Hey, team, it's a full house. We got to pick up the pace.
At Hank's Restaurant, the line goes around the block.
Is this for 12? Okay, I need the truffle oil drizzle.
What he needs is another line cook.
Oh, man. Are the quail breasts still in the sous vide? Dave, can you keep an eye on that, please?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
All viruses mutate over time, including the virus that causes COVID-19, making it important to understand each variant's effects. Manoj Gandhi, Senior Medical Director of Genetic Test Solutions at Thermo Fisher.
While most mutations have no impact, some affect transmission, infection rates, and more. In the case of COVID-19, we are seeing spikes in the number of cases with varying levels of impact, ranging from mild cold symptoms to even hospitalizations and death, as well as the potential to impact vaccine efficacy.
SARS-CoV-2 uses the spike protein to attach to host cells. This protein is used for development of vaccines, diagnostics, and medications. Changes here can impact the efficacy of these countermeasures. Dr. Gandhi stresses the importance of continued testing.
Even as COVID-19 restrictions are eased, efficient testing supported through the use of reliable technologies are imperative to watch for surges and to properly adapt our public health strategies to mitigate risk for the population.
To learn more, visit thermofisher.com/coronavirus poster.
Tune in every weekday to the Sportsline Bulldog Hour with Tony D, brought to you by Precision Civil Engineering. Be sure to listen at 2 p.m. to hear everything you need to know about Fresno State Athletics. Don't miss out on the insight and conversations you need to stay up on the Bulldogs with insiders like Paul Leffler, Jackson Moore, and Ralph Wood. If it's 2 p.m., it's the Bulldog Hour with Tony D, each weekday on 1430 ESPN Fresno.
It would be a bit of an understatement to say there are plenty of men's clothing brands out there. At Patrick James, we're a bit biased. We offer comfortable, high-quality clothing at very competitive prices. Patrick James delivers impeccable classic looks that keep your wardrobe moving forward in a confident, modern direction. See for yourself online or come into our store on 780 West Shaw to find the style and brands you're looking for at Patrick James.
The wait is over. Valley Pure presents Crazy Horse, the wild new flower from Cowgirl Cannabis. This isn't just a strain, it's an experience. Ready to get on the wild side? Then saddle up and ride with Crazy Horse. Available now only at Valley Pure. Bold, untamed, unforgettable. Don't just hear about it, live it. Get to one of Valley Pure's 5 locations and grab your Crazy Horse today. Cowgirl Cannabis. Blaze the trail.
Going, almost gone. That's right, folks. The giant $5 million furniture disposal sale at Fashion Furniture in Fresno is almost over. It's the final day. Your last chance to take advantage of these unbelievable deals. The prices return to normal in a matter of days. Extra sales help and parking will be made available to help with the crowd. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. The final days of the giant $5 million furniture disposal sale at Fashion Furniture in Fresno. Don't dare miss it.
Welcome to A+ Signs.
Thanks. Yeah, I need some custom exterior signs for my business.
Great. What's the name of your business?
C+ Signs.
Wait, you own a sign company?
Yep, C+ Signs.
And you want us, A+ Signs, to make your signs?
Yeah, I need them really fast, and we can't touch our turnaround times.
We are kind of known for that.
For signs that stop traffic, drive traffic, and even direct traffic, call A+ Signs.
Remember, A+ has great technicians to service and repair signs, too.
Yeah, we got a guy, but he's afraid of ladders.
Your home for high school sports. 1430 ESPN, the Valley's local sports leader. KFIG Fresno.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. NBA free agency a couple days in. The Lakers agreeing with former top pick DeAndre Ayton on a 2-year deal, including a player option. Ayton finalizing a contract buyout with Portland, will earn $34 million for next year. Averaged 14 and 10 last season on almost 57% from the field. Meanwhile, the Knicks landing their coach, expecting to hire two-time Coach of the Year Mike Brown. After a lengthy search, Brown replacing Tom Thibodeau. ESPN Radio's Harry Douglas and how the Knicks players should view their new head coach.
So now for the New York Knicks, you say to yourself, man, we got a taste of the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in a very, very long time. We got to hone in more on the details. We got to be better through and through. Why can't we be in the NBA Finals next year representing the Eastern Conference? So that's the mindset for the New York Knicks moving forward, and I'm pretty sure that was the mindset for the Indiana Pacers a year ago.
Douglas on Freddie and Harry. Brown was fired by the Kings in December, helped them break a 16-year playoff drought in 2023. Major League Baseball All-Star Game starters are in. Home run leader Cal Raleigh behind the plate in his first career All-Star Game Rookie of the Year candidate Jacob Wilson will start as well. 3 Tigers in the AL starting lineup. Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, and Javi Baez. Dodgers lead NL teams with 3 starters. Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, and Shohei Ohtani receiving the most votes. All-Star Game at Truist Park in Atlanta on July 15th. U.S. up 2-0 on Guatemala at the half in the CONCACAF Gold Cup semis.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Thursday, how much of a problem are injuries in the NBA? We'll examine that and give you an update from Wimbledon. That's Thursday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
He's got the knowledge.
Because once again, I have to come on there and talk about how right I am once again. In anything that it comes to sports.
He's got the questions.
I'm going to lose it. Are you kidding me? What are we doing here?
He's got the guests.
20th head coach in Fresno State history here, Matt. Is it hard to believe sometimes still, the 20th head coach here in program history?
It's all moved really quickly here over the course of the last 5-6 weeks. But super excited to be here.
Phil Benotti is the voice for the Central Valley sports leader. Behind the Bench starts now. Brought to you by Helena Agri.
That's right. Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. We are live in hour number 3 of our show, 5 o'clock hour, getting started right now as we are monitoring a lot of sports situations, a lot of great things coming around right now. USA Soccer up 2-0 right now in the half, so we're going to keep an eye on that as we roll along. We also have the MLB All-Star starters announced today, so we will see what that yields as well. We're going to have Bullard basketball head coach Tim Amundsen on as well. Going to help out Bullard basketball in their situation here coming up in just a little bit. We also have some trivia. There's so much happening here in this final hour, jam-packed final hour of our show. So stay with us. It's going to be a wild ride here on the show as well. So, all right. We have the MLB All-Stars announced, and so I want to give the opportunity. Tanvir, you have the starters in front of us. We did our voting yesterday. So why don't you reveal to us who has made the All-Stars as starters? Do you have the list in front of you?
Yes, I do.
All right. Why don't you give us that opportunity? Who do we have? Start on the American side.
All right. So let's start off with the American League side. I think no one is surprised by this one. Catcher is going to be Cal Raleigh from the Seattle Mariners.
Okay.
DH is Ryan O'Hearn from the Orioles. First baseman is going to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from the Toronto Blue Jays. Second base, Gleyber Torres, Detroit Tigers. Third base, this is a little bit of a heartbreaker for you, but Jose Ramirez, Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, Bregman, I get it. He didn't play the whole year, so I get it.
Shortstop, big dub for the A's fans. Jacob Wilson over Bobby Witt.
Crazy.
Yes.
Crazy,
That's
right?
the big story, in my opinion, for the AL starters. And then the outfield, Aaron Judge was already voted in, and then we got Riley Green and Javi Baez, the duo of the Detroit Tigers as well.
All right. So I think clearly, obviously, the Jacob Wilson one is probably, I think, the most pleasant surprise out of the American League side of things. I think that's the headline of it, that Jacob Wilson wins a vote over a very, very popular Bobby Witt Jr. But let's be frank, Jacob Wilson's been amazing. It's been phenomenal. He has certainly showcased that he is one of the top guys at making contact with the baseball, and so if that's the name of the game, then Jacob Wilson should be in the All-Star game per se. Is there any? For me, that's the headline from the American League starters. Is there anything else that sticks out to you guys from the American League starters in that sense?
I mean, for me, like you said, Wilson. I mean, I know I voted for him, so I feel like I was really excited. You know, he's young, and he only trails Judge in batting averages. So I really think that was a great win for him. And, yeah, I think that was my biggest thing.
I got another big headline, too, but I don't want to steal it from Tanvir if he's got the same thing in mind. Do you have any other headline from the American League side?
Nah, you can go ahead.
The Tigers.
Oh, yes. Tigers.
To me, the Tigers and to me, the Javier Baez story is just crazy to me. 3 years ago, you could have told me this, and I thought, you're insane. There's another man named Javier Baez that makes the All-Star team, not the one that I saw swinging at sliders over and over again, and being one of a pariah on the Mets team, like a few years ago, and being one of the worst contracts in baseball considered for the Tigers. But now he's transformed himself into a serviceable plus ball player for the Tigers. Reason why the Tigers are one of the best teams in baseball, and for me considered the best team in baseball right now. So that's where my headline sits. Javier Baez too. We haven't given out the NL starters yet.
No, but
let's give it to the people.
Now.
Yeah.
So starting off at catcher, we got Will Smith from the Los Angeles Dodgers. We're gonna see a trio of Dodgers go off here because the DH is Shohei Ohtani, as he was voted in prior to yesterday. Mm-hmm. And then first baseman is going to be Freddie Freeman of the LA Dodgers as well. And then second base, I think this is no surprise, Ketel Marte from the Diamondbacks. Manny Machado of the Padres gets third base. The shortstop is going to be New York Mets' Francisco Lindor. I think this was a little bit of a toss-up, in my opinion, because, both those guys very popular.
Mm-hmm.
And then outfielders, I think I was the one who called this trio. PCA of the Cubs, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker of the Cubs, and Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, headline there to me, Acuna making it with such little time on the season, but yeah, it was enough, and it's a good enough sample size for the people voting that Ronald Acuna deserves. Let's be frank, Ronald Acuna being in an All-Star game is exciting television, no matter what you say. Ronald Acuna is a fun player to watch, and I get it. We want the best players, the fun players in there, the most entertaining players. So yeah, Acuna makes a lot of sense to me. So that's the headline for me. What about for you guys?
Well, yeah, I was going to say that. I think for a different reason. I mean, the Atlanta factor, I think they needed to see an Atlanta Brave there, and I think Acuna has been phenomenal in the time that he's been playing, regardless of how many games he has actually played. And other headline, I like the pair of Cubs in the outfield. I think that they've played very well this year, and they've been rewarded with two spots right here.
Julia, what about for you? What's your headline from the National League All-Stars?
Yeah, I feel like the third base position with Manny Machado and Max Muncy, I mean, they both have really big fan bases. So I feel like for me, I wasn't exactly sure, a little bit of a toss-up. So I feel like that was my biggest headline.
Yeah, that was a contentious battle, I would say, at the third base side. I, in my opinion, feel like they got it right. I know, Tanvir, you feel like they got it wrong. So, and that's the debate of sports right there. So the third base side was...
I don't know if I would say they got it wrong. I just think it's just, I'd rather have an LA guy in there than a San Diego.
I get it.
But Machado definitely deserves it.
Yeah, Machado's been fantastic for San Diego. All right, let's do 5 at 5 real quick. Let's try to fit it in here. What we're doing is to pick the All-Star starters, but we haven't found out who's playing in the Home Run Derby just quite yet. So, top 5 guys I want to see in the Home Run Derby.
It's time now for Phil's 5 at 5.
That's right. So that is what we're going to do. Top 5 players we want to see in the Home Run Derby. There could be some off-the-wall choices. There could be some other choices. And so we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to ask for criteria. Did you guys make some selections for y'all in this one, the Home Run Derby?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
I also
Sounds
did.
good. We'll go rapid fire here before our interview coming up next. So let's go.
Number 5.
And number 5, this is just a personal one I want to see. I know he's not a prolific home run hitter when it comes to the career statistics, but I just want to see big Rowdy Tellez try to rip some as far as that's concerned. He seems like one of those guys that if you put him in a home run derby opportunity, I would want to see what he could possibly do. So give me Rowdy Tellez as my number 5. What do you guys got?
Yeah, my number 5, I have Pete Alonso. I mean, he's a 3-time Derby participant, won twice. I mean, he hasn't been doing as well with only 18 home runs compared to some other people this season, but I feel like he's just a given. He's got to be there.
What about you, Tanvir?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Eugenio Suarez from Arizona.
Eugenio Suarez.
Yes. Or that's how you say it?
Yep.
My bad. My mistake.
You're okay.
2.54 average, 26 home runs, 69 RBIs. He had the 9th longest home run blast of 2025 so far with a 466 feet bomb. I was kind of looking at a mix of raw power, stats, and star power, and I think that's a good start for my list.
Suarez is good. Let's go to
number 4.
I'm going to go for the Athletics' Nick Kurtz. He's kind of a late addition here from his season, but the dude's already had some big moments with some home runs. I think he walked off 2 times in one series. I can't remember who they were playing, but it was a few weeks ago. But Nick Kurtz is known for the moment. He's got some big bop in his bat, a lefty bat as well. Usually that's when the home run derby guys excel, is that lefty bat. So I like Nick Kurtz to be my entry here from the Athletics. Want to see what he could do in a home run derby, especially as a young gun kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, for my number 4, I view Eugenio Suarez. I feel like he's really good. He has 26 home runs this season, and he hasn't been in the Derby yet. I feel like he deserves it. And so, I mean, he has 302 home runs in his career. I feel like he deserves to be there.
Good call. What do you got, Tanvir?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Byron Buxton, Minnesota Twin. 19 home runs, 51 RBIs this year. He has the 2nd longest home run of this season with a 479 feet home run against the Texas Rangers. Now, I think he's been a little bit of a guy that's been under the radar, but I like what he's doing this year, and I think he deserves to be in the home run derby.
Number 3.
I'm going to go Rafael Devers. And for some people, you think the home run derby doesn't help your swing. I think it would fix his swing if he just sees some balls go over the plate and take some BP out in Atlanta. I believe Devers should be an all-star still, despite his scuffling here over the last few weeks. But I think Rafael Devers would be a really fun entry just based off of the volatility of his swing. And I would just love to see him kind of crank some home runs out of Atlanta. And like I said, sometimes see ball, go far can help you be a better hitter. And frankly, I think that might fix some things for Rafael Devers.
I agree 100%. I feel like I've said this before, but the mental game is huge. And I feel like if he just, like you said, sees some home runs, I feel like that would give him the confidence that he needs to go out there and, get back to what he was doing. For me, I have Cal Raleigh at 3rd. I mean, he has the most home runs in the league right now. He definitely deserves it. I think it's interesting. He's a catcher, switch hitter. So, yeah, I feel like he definitely needs to be in there.
He will be. That is the only confirmed name we will have in there. So there you go, Julia.
Really? I had Ronald Acuna is also a player.
Is he confirmed? I know Cal Raleigh is confirmed. So Julia, you don't have to worry about that. Congratulations, he's in. So no worries. Tanvir, what do you got?
I went, to the Japanese side of things, and I went with. Am I pronouncing this right? Seiya Suzuki.
Seiya Suzuki, yes.
From the Chicago Cubs. I think I saw something where it said he has the second most home runs for a Japanese player in his first 4 seasons, and I think that having a guy like that would do wonders for the home run derby. And he has the stats to back it up: 23 home runs and a 2.58 average. So yeah, I'd like to see a guy like that in the home run derby.
Number 2.
I'll always keep saying he needs to be in home run derbies more, but I get it. He retired on top, and he won one, and he feels good about it. But let's be honest, when you become the greatest right-handed hitter of our modern era, I'd like to see it one more time. Give us a little swan song. Aaron Judge is who I'm talking about. I want to see him one more time. I want to see what he's doing lately. And then I understand Judge is very particular in how he kind of operates in all-star seasons now and all-star game weekends and all that stuff. But Aaron Judge would be phenomenal to see on the big stage once again. Now that I don't think we realized how great he could be when he was in 2017. I believe it was when he won the home run derby in Miami. Correct me if I got the date wrong or the year wrong, but now that we know, I think there'd be a lot of anticipation of seeing Aaron Judge participate in one more again.
I think Aaron Judge declined.
Oh, I know he declined.
Oh, but
he always declines. But I want to see him.
I agree with you for that one.
That's just me hopeful wish. That's like me asking for LeBron to do the dunk contest. This is me asking Aaron Judge to do a home run contest. You know what I mean? So, what do we got? Number 2.
Yeah, my number 2 is Shohei Ohtani. I mean, I feel like he is so fun to watch. Seeing him in a home run derby is just. I feel like anyone would want to see that, Dodgers fan or not. I mean, he definitely has to be there. He has 30 home runs, second most. He's just a given, I feel like.
What do you got, Tanvir?
Yeah, so I didn't put any players that I felt like declined the Derby, so both of those guys are not going to be on my list. But I went with Riley Green, 181 total bases this season, 21 home runs. I'd like to see a Tiger in this home run derby just to see how good they've been. So I think Riley Green is probably the guy for that job.
Riley Green's interesting. That's a good entry there for the Detroit Tigers.
Number 1.
I hope I didn't steal anybody's. I'm going Pete Crow Armstrong. 21 home runs, smaller body, but packs a lot of punch. He's a very widely popular player right now. I know a lot of that because his rookie cards go for a good, decent amount of money. I know that from the hobby. So Pete Crow Armstrong, phenomenal baseball player to say for the Cubs. Get a Cubs representative in there. I feel like he give him a one-time shot here at it. He's kind of like Bobby Witt in that kind of same build. So very curious to see what Pete Crow Armstrong could do in the home run derby. That's what I got at number 1.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great pick. I feel like for me, it was just a perfect world, and that's why I have Aaron Judge as my number 1. I feel like he's really fun to watch. He's just one of those ones you want to see again. And, I mean, that's what people want to see in a home run derby, just fun people to watch. So that's why he's my number 1.
Nice. Tanvir, round us up.
My number 1 is Kyle Schwarber. He has 26 home runs this year. I think he does bring that star power to a home run derby. Also, he has the power game as well, 9th longest blast, tied with Suarez in Arizona with 466 feet. So I think he's the perfect combination of that raw power that we're looking for, the performance throughout the season, and the star power. I don't know if he has declined or not, but I would love to see Schwarber in the home run derby.
I know he's done it before. I'm trying to remember. He did it in 22. He lost that. That's right. Albert Pujols was in the home run derby in 2022. I can't remember that. So, other than that, yeah, Schwarber has been in a few home run derbies, I believe, and it'd be a nice welcome back for him. He's got that short, compact swing. Feels like not a lot of energy wasted on that. So, good pick right there. Great list.
That was Phil's 5 at 5.
I'm jacked up for home run derby. I'd love to. Can't wait for that one again. All right, so let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to bring on Tim Odinson from Bullard Boys Basketball, talk about all of that going on with them, and we'll continue this third hour here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
Craving something different? Lynn's Restaurant Group has a variety of spots to satisfy every craving. If you're in the mood for teppanyaki and sushi, Hino Oishi offers an unforgettable Japanese experience. For bold, flavorful Chinese dishes, Spicy J's has exactly what you're looking for. Enjoy a hot pot experience at J-Pot and top it off with boba from JT Inside. Whether dining in or ordering out, every meal is memorable. Visit lynsrestaurantgroup.com to learn more.
Central Valley, are you ready for a seamless car buying journey? Madera Toyota Chevrolet has you covered. With their 25-year, 250,000-mile warranty and everything priced under MSRP, you're always in for a great deal. Plus, enjoy their no-pressure policy and 2 years of free maintenance on new vehicles, their way of saying thank you for choosing them. And calling all truck lovers, explore their selection of rugged Silverados, powerful Tundras, and versatile Tacomas. Whatever your needs, they have the perfect truck for you. Visit them today at MaderaToyotaChevrolet.com, where every drive begins with trust.
When it comes to solar, there's no such thing as the average Fresno home. Every home, every roof, every project requires the kind of experience and knowledge you get when you call Donald P. Dick. Call today and ask about the 30% tax credits and flexible financing options from the 12-time People's Choice Award winner, Donald P. Dick Air Conditioning and Solar. Call 559-255-1644 and let Mr. Cool help you drive down the cost of energy.
Sports fans, whether you're gearing up for your next adventure or simply searching for the perfect ride, Ed Dina's Auto Center has you covered. Now, let's hear from the 2018 Mountain West champion, Marcus McMarion.
Hey, it's Marcus McMarion. At Ed Dina's Auto Center, they'll make car shopping as smooth as a game-winning play. Whether it's a truck, SUV, or the car of your dreams, their incredible team is here to guide you every step of the way. Ed Dina's Auto Center in Dinuba and now in Visalia off Mooney Boulevard. Online at eddinasautocenter.com.
Hey guys, Phil Benotti here from Behind the Bench to tell you about my friends at Clovis Truck Center. That's right. You've heard me talk about getting ready for the summer. Well, now it's here. They have all the things you need in stock, so it's right there in the shop. No waiting on a part to be shipped in. Oh, and one more thing. With all those warm temperatures out there this summer, it's the perfect time to get those windows tinted to help your car cool. Be sure to stop by Clovis Truck Center today, just located south of the Clovis Rodeo Grounds in Old Town Clovis. Remember, they're the first, the biggest, and still the best in the Central Valley.
Is a cracked screen or dying battery putting the brakes on your day? Swing by Self-Fix for lightning-fast phone repairs. Our expert techs are wizards with all major brands, guaranteeing your device is back in action before you know it. Plus, every fix comes with our rock-solid warranty. Drop by 6751 North Blackstone or dial 559-765-8044 to lock in your spot. Self-Fix, your ultimate ally in phone rescue. Stay plugged in. Only with Self-Fix.
Stepping up to the plate, it's Richard's Prime Rib and Seafood, the original, a true family-run restaurant, serving slow-roasted certified Angus prime rib, hand-cut steaks, and the freshest seafood since '69, a winning tradition. Richard's Prime Rib and Seafood is now open for lunch Wednesday through Friday and dinner Wednesday through Saturday, so you'll never strike out on a great meal. Richard's Prime Rib and Seafood, a Valley dining tradition, because when it comes to great food and family, they always hit it out of the park.
At Citizens Business Bank, we've been taking a personal approach to banking for over 40 years and are consistently recognized as one of the top performing banks in the nation. Hi, I'm Susan Woosner, Senior Vice President and Manager of Citizens Business Bank in Fresno. We believe in the importance of building long-lasting and genuine relationships with our customers. We want to provide you with the solutions you need to grow your business because your success is our success. Citizens Business Bank, member FDIC.
To Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. We are pleased to be joined on the Lee's Air Hotline by the boys basketball coach at Bullard High, Tim Amundsen, here on the phone line. Tim, I wish I was calling you on better news, obviously, and we'll enlighten the people who are listening right now on it. But it is good to hear your voice. And how are we doing on this July 2nd afternoon?
Doing okay. I really appreciate you having us on and helping us spread the word. Yeah, I wish it was on better terms for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And for people who do not know, we saw obviously the story come out about obviously firework fundraising, and I did this back when I was in college. Firework fundraising is such a big thing, an integral part of athletics, integral part of schools around here that participate it. And correct me if I get wrong. I obviously we saw the story that your stand, the Bullard boys basketball stand, was robbed of. It sounded like $40,000 worth of fireworks from the stand, and that's got to be devastating stuff. So, if you want to tell people, you don't need to go into details on how or whatever, but what the impact that was on you guys when that news broke for you guys.
That's definitely a gut punch. It's devastating. We have a great group of parents and kids that are working really hard. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year. We usually raise between 20 and 30 grand profit, and it covers like our travel for the year, hotels, so we could take the kids around the state and play good competition, our equipment. It just covers so much, so it's definitely a gut punch, and we're kind of because of what happened, we're just trying to catch up and break even and not lose the money. So it was 40 grand to start, and then the Fresno PD came in and did a fantastic job. Shout out to Fresno PD. They got on it. They were great to work with. They tracked down. They actually brought back a third of it today.
Wow.
So they brought back about 15 grand to work today, right around, so we're about 25 grand in the hole, and we have to make up for that the rest of the week. So we're just asking for help and donations, and our stands on Herndon and Marks, and we have a GoFundMe on our Instagram, and there's a link on there for BHS Knights Hoops to help out. We appreciate it. We've already had a lot who already donated. I want to say thank you to them, and I want to say thank you to Channel 47 for also getting the news out. We've had a great response, a lot of really good people out there that are willing to help out in a tough time. So we appreciate all that.
Absolutely, and you mentioned it right at the top there. This fundraiser is so big for you guys. High school sports, as much as people think, they find ways to play the games and figure it out as far as the bus trips are concerned. There's a lot, the hotels, all that stuff. If you want to play good competition for these boys, make them better basketball players, there's a lot to invest into it. And so, as you mentioned, fundraisers like this do a lot for these guys who want to develop into good basketball players and better teammates per se. Obviously, you're hoping that doesn't take away from the situation because of something like this, but you talk about the importance of having the money, the funding for kids who want to be potentially playing at another level, right?
Absolutely, and myself and the coaching staff and our parents were trying to figure out how we're going to make up for this. We were worried about being in the hole when we were counting on 25 to 30 grand. So definitely an added stress. We'll overcome. We'll figure it out, but it's going to make it much more difficult for sure. Do not see this coming.
How have the boys handled the news so far? How have they handled this situation? I'd imagine there's a level of disappointment from this whole thing, but I think have they turned around on based off of what the response has been? What has it been like for the athletes who've seen all this play through?
The kids are resilient. They're going to be great. I don't know if they understand the gravity of the situation, but they're out there hustling and on the corner trying to attract people to our stand and being positive and just showing up to work every day. So they've been great.
Yeah. So the headstrong nature of it sometimes. Those guys, it's like being down, down double digits in the second half, and they're just plugging away, right? You've been in plenty of situations like that before.
Yeah, we got great kids. They're very resilient, and like I said, we'll figure it out, but it'd be nice to get a little extra help from all the good people out there.
Obviously, and so the Bullard community surely has turned out for the support. Once again, you mentioned there's some opportunities for people to help out. I want to give that opportunity one more time for the people who are just tuning in on here. How can people help Bullard boys basketball with this situation? Obviously, go buy fireworks from Herndon and Marks, right? That's the most streamlined way, per se.
Our stands open 8 a.m. to 8:30 at night, all the way through 4th of July. Herndon and Marks, you want to come out and support and buy or donate, we'd appreciate it. We've also had many people already donate to our GoFundMe page. It's on our Instagram. The link is on there. DHS Knights Hoops. And again, I know we just appreciate anything we can get. We're just trying to break even right now.
Coach, you're excited about this team, right, this next season because of what you got coming with you here. There's a lot of excitement around what Bullard basketball could be. So this kind of stuff can really help for especially a season I'm sure you're very excited about and looking forward to with what the kids you got coming back.
Yeah, we got 7 seniors returning and I think 9 returners overall, so we should be pretty good. Have a chance there at the end. Yeah, I think we're going to be a lot of fun to watch, and we should have a good year, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I won't keep you obviously, but I'm sure a lot of people are waiting to help and willing to help, and I hope people who hear this know where to go to help you guys out. It's such a key thing to help fund high school athletics, especially in situations like this. That's what makes Fresno community great, I would believe, and I'm sure you feel that in the same way.
Absolutely, and a big thank you to you and your guys because your platform's huge. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to help us get the word out, man. It's really nice of you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Coach, I appreciate it. We'll try to get it out on our socials as well, so go to ESPN Fresno at some point on our socials. We'll get some information from this interview as well. All right, Coach, I'll let you get going. Enjoy the rest of this 4th of July weekend, and best of luck on the season coming up. I'm sure we'll be chatting when we get closer to it.
We'll talk again. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your 4th.
Absolutely. Happy 4th to you. All right, Coach Amundsen here on the Lee's Air Hotline. Such an important thing, obviously, to be involved in stuff like this, be involved in helping the athletics, especially in horrible situation. And I'm glad I heard, Fresno PD recovering some of that material. That helps at least a little bit. It doesn't alleviate the total loss that they felt in this situation. They're just trying to hope to break even. But people don't realize, and Tim Veer, you probably see it more often than not, especially in the athletics side. Athletics is not free for high schools. It is not free. There's so much that comes with the fundraising and the booster side, and to lose that much money to what you're expecting for it has to be devastating for a program like that, especially for basketball. It can be felt a long ways when it comes to that, but just an awful situation for Bullard. Oh, I didn't turn on your mic. There we go.
It's all good. I think that I've recently discovered what it takes to kind of be in the athletic program game and understanding the costs and everything. Even me being like a Clovis East guy, right? Like you feel for a team like Bullard because this isn't even like a school thing at this point. This is a community thing, and I hope that everybody within the community, regardless of whatever high school they're from, can really come together and help this program get back to its feet after this tragedy that happened.
Absolutely. Julia, same kind of sentiment. I'm sure you're feeling the same way, feeling horrible. Even though Bullard's a competitor from your side, it just stinks to hear some of the stuff happen.
Yeah, I mean, my mom teaches in an elementary district that feeds into Bullard. So, I mean, I feel like my heart really goes out to them because these are good kids, and it's really hard to raise money for high school athletics just all around the board. And like you said, to lose money like that is just heartbreaking, and I really hope that, as a community, we can build them up no matter what school you feed into or whatever happens, just help the community.
Like I said, most direct way you can go help and benefit, buy your fireworks from over there on Herndon and Marks. And if you want to cut more money for them over there, write a bigger check than what you're paying for on the fireworks. That's a good way to do it. That's a good way to help them out. So help them out as any way as we possibly can. All right. Still 2-0, by the way, USA over Guatemala. We're in the 69th minute of this match. Tim, catch us up. Any big things that's happened in the second half in the last, I would say, 20-something minutes?
Yeah, so you can see that the Guatemalans are starting to try to push for a goal. And for the United States, this is opening up the back line for the Guatemalans, which usually, playing against bigger teams, you want to play in a defensive setup, maybe have a little bit more center backs on the field. But now they are running for a goal. So I think the United States need to exploit this thin back line now with their passing and get a third goal to kind of polish this game off. I think that Patrick Agyemang, again, he had a golden chance to make this a 3-0 lead, and he didn't. So Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. I see that we just got a goal kick, so that's good. But yeah, I think if the United States can see this game through for the next 10, 15 minutes, this game should be over. And I'm not going to take anything away. Guatemala, maybe they are not the highest rated side, but they come in with a lot of momentum. So if the USA can see this out, this is a pretty good win in my opinion, especially with the players that we have on the field.
Yeah, and I can see with Guatemala the way they attack. I see long crosses, those kind of. When I see long crosses, it feels like there's not much of an answer other than kind of a Hail Mary side of things. They're trying for it a little bit,
especially with the center backs that we have. Chris Richards and Tim Ream, two of the tallest center backs, and two center backs that have played in the Premier League, so they're used to this kind of stuff. I think maybe adding a couple of substitutes to this game could really help the USA kind of lock this game down.
Yeah, certainly. All right, let's continue our 50 states in 50 days game with you two in the producer chair. Today we have the state of New Mexico. For those who are tuning in new here, ESPN's doing a 50 days in 50 states kind of special throughout the summer. And what they have done is release some notable athletes born. They rank them top 3. Some states get top 5s. Today we get a top 3 from New Mexico. Somewhat interesting top 3 to say the least from the state of New Mexico. But these are players born in the state of New Mexico. We're going to go through every state here through all of this run through. So this is what we got. State of New Mexico, 3 athletes on the board here. All right. So are you guys ready to begin and test your knowledge on athletes from New Mexico? I feel like all 3 of these are pretty gettable.
Okay. Hopefully they are. But I just wanted to give a little heads up. The ESPN crew were with the New Mexico Isotopes this day today. And I think it's actually a pretty interesting story how they became the New Mexico Isotopes.
Albuquerque Isotopes.
Albuquerque Isotopes, right. It was based off of The Simpsons. The Simpsons had a baseball team. There was a team where Homer wanted to see the Springfield Isotopes, and that was the team name picked by the fans. So I think that's a little bit of a good story to start us off for
some
New
former
Mexico.
Grizzlies. Some Grizzlies hope to get to the Albuquerque Isotopes because that is a Rockies affiliate. So some Fresno Grizzlies eventually become Isotopes, and then obviously to Colorado. So there you go. That's the fun fact there. All right, let's get to our first athlete. The third-ranked athlete from New Mexico, according to ESPN, is a 2-time All-Star, a 2-time World Series winner, and an All-Star Game MVP.
So 2-time All-Star, 2-time World Series winner, and an All-Star Game MVP.
Yes, that is correct. An All-Star Game MVP from New Mexico.
I'm going to need another clue. I think this is very broad.
Yeah.
This athlete has 19 postseason home runs, which is tied for 6th in MLB history. They're also tied for 8th in postseason and MLB history in RBIs.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to just see. This is where we just start throwing out random names and see if they stick. I'm going to just say Freddie Freeman.
Not Freddie Freeman. I don't give you the trombone sound.
No.
You're throwing it out there.
Because, it was like two World Series. I don't know about his stats, but yeah.
Julia, do you got any remote guesses here?
Well, can I ask, is it an active player?
It is currently an active player in Major League Baseball, yes.
So you said 2-time MVP, 2-time...
2-time All-Star, 2-time World Series winner, and an All-Star Game MVP. I'll give the third clue. This player won gold with Team USA in the 2017 World Baseball Classic.
Won gold with Team USA.
19 postseason home runs, tied
that's
for 6th in Major League Baseball history.
I think anytime it goes to baseball, I just get stumped completely.
Who's been in the postseason a lot and is currently still in Major League Baseball?
Yeah. And
has won the World Series.
Is it Aaron Judge?
It is not Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has not won a World Series.
Oh, duh! I'm just starting to think of names.
Are you waving? Are you waving the white flag? Are you waving the white flag?
Yeah.
You're looking for current Boston Red Sox Alex Bregman.
Okay.
Alex Bregman is the third. I was going to go with a fourth clue. I'm like, I believe his father is a politician.
Yeah, that would not.
That
wouldn't have helped. Okay. All right. Number 2. This player was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2000. They're a 10-time Pro Bowl and a 6-time All-Pro, and they have the most All-Pro selections by a defensive back all time.
Most All-Pro selections by a DB all time.
Mm-hmm.
And also 2000.
Pro Football Hall of Fame
that
in
means he would have
2000.
retired in the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm going to just... Again, this is just where we just put out random names. I'm going to say Rod Woodson.
Rod Woodson is incorrect. Incorrect, Rod Woodson. Good idea, though. This player has won 4 Super Bowl titles.
Okay.
All with one team.
Okay, so who would have won? Okay, so...
That helps you a lot.
Yeah, a little bit, because the Niners won 4 times in the 80s, and the Cowboys, I believe, won 4 times a couple. So I'm going to just say maybe Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott
Yes,
is
sir.
the name. There we go. 49ers. I probably screwed it a little bit by saying the same team thing, but there you go. Four Super Bowl champs. The last clue was 63 interceptions, tied for the 8th most in NFL history, and 9 postseason interceptions. That's tied with Baltimore Ravens' Ed Reed for most in postseason history. So Ronnie Lott. Who could be better than Ronnie Lott from New Mexico?
Yeah, that's
well.
wild.
According to ESPN, it's a boxer. 33-2-3 professional boxing record, 14-time world champion across multiple weight classes, and 14-1-1 record against title holders in her career.
Okay. Female boxer?
Female boxer.
I'm trying to think of a list of women's boxers.
Mm-hmm. This next one might, because if you're a big fan of fight,
because
I got another clue
I
here.
feel like she's like the daughter of another big boxer.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember her name. Oh my god. Are we on the right track with that one?
Thinking about it, I feel like you're getting warm.
Oh my gosh. She's a daughter of a legend.
Maybe.
It's an Ali, I think. Her I don't know her first name though.
It's not Layla
It's
Ali.
not Layla. Okay.
No.
So yeah, okay, I need another clue.
This fighter became UFC's women's bantamweight champion when she upset another notable UFC player, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, so I know more about UFC than I do about boxing. Is this Holly Holm?
It is Holly Holm, considered the greatest athlete to be born in in New Mexico, according to ESPN.
I'm a big UFC fan. I'm putting Ronnie Lott 1.
Yeah,
I just am.
That's interesting. They put Holly Holm number 1. But
yeah, very interesting.
Holmes upset Ronda Rousey. I remember that being like a major thing. Like that was one of the big stories in 2015.
Era defining, I would say.
Yeah. So there you go. The UFC angle, I was like, okay, I think he could get this. Couple others. Ralph Kiner, former big-time Pittsburgh Pirate in the, I believe, 60s or 70s. I can't remember. Ralph Kiner out there. And that's about it from New Mexico. I almost thought Brian Urlacher was from New Mexico, but he only played at New Mexico. For those who
Walter White.
No Walter White, greatest athlete of all time, Walter White. So there you go. That is New Mexico. Should I give the state tomorrow, or are you guys gonna mess it up here? Or?
I haven't been doing research at all.
No.
So.
I feel like I'm just gonna end up hearing.
We're going to the state of Washington tomorrow.
Okay.
State of Washington up in the great Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
So get your brain on that one. 3 pretty big names, too. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we wrap up the show, give you a little another USA update, and get you set for Giants baseball. We'll wrap up the show next here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
Are you Bulldog born?
Here's Mims on a direct snap as he tries to reach it in and gets in. Jordan Mims, his second.
Bulldog Bread offers you the Red Wave, a way to support your favorite student athletes at Fresno State.
Boy, Kelly has got a lot of space on the outside right. Hayner to the end zone. Touchdown, Fresno State!
The Fresno State Bulldogs are part of your DNA if you're a Central Valley native. Support your dogs today. Visit BulldogBread.com to become a member.
I make sure that we have plenty of parts for the service department and the customers in the front counter.
That's Al Carmona, parts manager at Pioneer Equipment Company.
A lot of farmers come in, they know what they want, and if they don't, we try to help as best as we can.
Pioneer carries a wide selection of Kubota, Land Pride, and Nelson parts. Stop by and see us in Fresno or Reedley. We'll get you a cup of coffee and the parts you need.
We have really good customers. Pioneer Equipment's a great place.
Visit pioneerequipmentca.com.
When it comes to solar, there's no such thing as the average Fresno home. Every home, every roof, every project requires the kind of experience and knowledge you get when you call Donald P. Dick. Call today and ask about the 30% tax credits and flexible financing options from the 12-time People's Choice Award winner, Donald P. Dick Air Conditioning and Solar. Call 559-255-1644 and let Mr. Cool help you drive down the cost of energy.
Hey, Dad, have you thought about what we talked about?
You mean Thiessen-Duker Modern Wealth Management? Modern sounds complicated.
Look, you've got money, but it's all over the place. That's complicated, and your money could be working smarter for you. Thiessen-Duker uses advanced software designed to analyze how your different assets can work together toward your goals. You'd be surprised what a few simple adjustments can make. A lot of other advisors don't even use this technology.
And it wasn't complicated?
Thiessen-Duker made it simple. And now my accounts are streamlined too. I go to thiesenduker.com, click on the Account View tab, and I can see all my accounts in one place.
Oh, your mom would love that.
Yeah, and so will you. That's what Thiessen-Duker can do for you.
Modern Wealth Management. I'm in, son.
Just visit thiesenduker.com and give them a call.
The advisors of Thiessen-Duker Modern Wealth Management are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Hi, I'm Jim Schaefer with Helena Agri-Enterprises. At Helena, we lead with agronomy, and crop health plays a crucial role in maximizing production. You can visit helenaagri.com to find your local Helena retailer and learn more about Helena's products and solutions. Summer temperatures and droughty conditions are rapidly approaching in the Central Valley, which isn't ideal for farming. These environmental stresses can impact yields significantly, so how do we fight against this? At Helena, we have a product called Megafol. Megafol contains a precision blend of plant extracts that improves crop vitality and helps defend against environmental stressors like heat and drought. So how does it work? Simply put, the plant extracts in Megafol upregulate genes that produce specific proteins in the crop. More of these proteins means the crop can function at a higher level under stress conditions and less energy is spent on recovery. At Helena, we lead with agronomy, and crop health plays a crucial role in maximizing production. You can visit helenaagri.com to find your local Helena retailer and learn more about Helena's products and solutions.
Going, almost gone. That's right, folks. The giant $5 million furniture disposal sale at Fashion Furniture in Fresno is almost over. It's the final day. Your last chance to take advantage of these unbelievable deals. The prices return to normal in a matter of days. Extra sales help and parking will be made available to help with the crowd. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. The final days of the giant $5 million furniture disposal sale at Fashion Furniture in Fresno. Don't dare miss it.
All right, welcome back to Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN. It's going to be a sweaty 8 minutes left of our show here as we are trying to survive this United States soccer game. Guatemala in the break just scored. So 2-1 United States over Guatemala. Tanvir is hanging on by every second right now. I can tell about we got a camera angle on it. You see where he's sitting, how he's sitting right now? Julia, he is a man going through it right now. Julia, this is sports, man. This is sports. This is phenomenal stuff.
This is what I love. Like, how can you not be romantic about sports? This is just so beautiful to watch.
Tanvir, you look like you're going through like a dental procedure. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's very nerve-wracking. I think, as I said before, the 49ers and the USMNT are kind of like my two biggest teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's actually pretty crazy that while we're in studio, I'm having these emotions. I think that I don't know if you guys have seen that within at this magnitude, but yeah, this is a pretty nerve-wracking game right now.
It's a challenge. It's going to give Guatemala a free kick here in in U.S. territory. 3 guys around him, and he commit a foul. I don't know. All right, so Guatemala, who just scored. Now, what does everybody say? A 2-goal lead is the most dangerous in all of sports. I mean, I say it more in hockey. I think it's not much more of a soccer thing.
No, I mean, I have heard it in soccer, but if you look at the statistics, actually, it's actually not even something that comes to fruition. So hopefully that rings true right here.
This is a very nerve-wracking free kick, I would say. This is kind of in that little magic territory where they start running at the goal, and you could get a deflection here off of a keeper. We'll see how aggressive Freeze is. He looks offsides from that initial run, and that just sails out of bounds. So goal kick. I don't know. I looked like the Guatemala player that was trying to streak through. He looked off.
Yeah, he started his run a little too early.
Yeah. So looks like we're going to get some subs in here as well. We'll see if it's enough for the United States to advance here. All right, a little this day in sports history, just to give you a little break through this. 12 years ago, the Giants were no hit by Homer Bailey, which was his second no hitter in 10 months. One of the most unlikely two-time no hitter guys I think we've ever had. Homer Bailey is, I would say, a less than average pitcher per se, but somehow he's got 2 no hitters. I remember watching that one in 2013 because the Giants phenomenal era of Giants baseball, but they couldn't get it done then. Also in this day, almost 17 years ago, I'd say 17 years ago on this day, Professional Basketball Club LLC reached a settlement agreement in a lawsuit filed by the city of Seattle, finalizing the move of the Supersonics to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Xavier, when are we getting the Supersonics back?
Yeah, I don't know. This was a couple of years ago or a couple months ago, but I remember the Seattle, what would it be, mayor was joking about the Supersonics coming back. So I don't know. I feel like they have room because 32 teams. That's how big the NFL is.
Yeah.
I think they can expand to 2 different cities, but I think Seattle definitely is going to have to be a team that expands or gets an expansion team. I was wondering if Seattle was to open up an expansion team. I think the trophy that they won earlier would still stay with the Thunder, right?
Well, if you had to litigate the history between the Hornets and the Bobcats and all that crazy, and the Pelicans
it's like the Texans and the Titans.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like who claims what and whatever. I would say you could officially segregate the history of Seattle from the OKC history, and that's what it is. I don't know. I'd imagine Vegas is the other spot, and then you put Memphis in the East. Who else would go East? I'm trying to think. Memphis and New Orleans, right?
Yeah, I think Memphis would probably make the most sense. New Orleans would also make sense, but I think out of the 2, probably Memphis.
Yeah, I think Memphis, New Orleans, and then you add Vegas and Seattle to the West, and good God, I'd be so happy to have the Warriors not have to travel to New Orleans 2 times a year. That's just so stupid. So stupid from the NBA schedule. Julia, Giants baseball tonight. Where were the vibes? We haven't talked Giants baseball at all on this show yet after just another abysmal performance last night, 8-2. I didn't watch a single second of the game last night. Did you watch any baseball last night?
Yeah, I did. I watched it until I think it got to about 6-2, and then I was kind of over it. It was a frustrating game to watch. I mean, Patrick Bailey had 2 errors, which it was really weird. I mean, it caused
pass balls, right? I remember them.
Pass balls that caused 3 unearned runs, and I feel like at this point it's just. I mean, I was watching Say Yaz after he struck out, and he just looks defeated in a way, and I feel like that's kind of how this whole team is starting to look. I feel like we've talked about it a lot. It's like they don't know what to do, and we're just waiting for that all-star break to maybe save us, Matt Chapman to save us. I mean, it was just not a good game to watch other than in the beginning of the game we got up 2-0, but after that there wasn't much that we could do to kind of save ourselves.
But for lack of a better term, is it a loser mentality? I don't know what that said. A loser mentality to wait for a player to come and rescue your lineup. That feels like such a kind of a you're not taking advantage of the opportunities in front of you, and you're waiting for somebody to do something. As a Giants team and as an athlete, I feel like you would have too much pride to allow that to be the reason why you're not being successful. Maybe the Giants sit there and they like, yeah, Chappie's our guy, but that's just like the layman's terms of whatever. I'm just saying it because I just respect Chapman as a player. But as a player in that locker room, they can't be reliant on the idea that Chapman's going to come and rescue us, because if you're a player thinking that way, you should not be in the big leagues. Like, I'm just being frank like that.
I have a message for all Giants fans that if you're watching on YouTube, I'm pointing straight at the camera. We want you guys to keep your hair and your blood pressure low.
Yes.
So I would suggest maybe not watching the Giants until the All-Star break is over. And yeah, so I'm looking out for you guys, and hopefully your mental health will improve once the San Francisco Giants are back from the All-Star break.
Listen, you can do that. You can. There are many ways to consume baseball right now, and maybe safely is just living vicariously through highlights on Twitter or somebody texting you the final after it's all said and done. Last night I felt great. I went to dinner with my dad and my parents and everything like that. My dad had his birthday dinner last night. It was phenomenal. We surprised him out of the Crack Pepper. By the way, phenomenal dinner at Crack Pepper. I'm not being paid to say that. Really enjoyed the lamb chops I had. Very delicious. And I had a peaceful night. And I went to bed pretty early because I was very tired from the day. And I lived without watching Giants baseball other than checking a score here and there. Giants lineup looks like this: Yastrzemski, Adames, Devers, Flores. Flores is back at first base. Jung-Hoo Lee is in center. Matos is going to be in the lineup as well. Patrick Bailey. It's Tyler Fitzgerald, and it's Brett Wisely getting the start at third base. I've seen little whispers of Devers just at some point maybe trying out third base as well because of simply the injury situation to Koss, to Schmidt. Obviously, Chapman's still on the mend as well. There are desperate times for this Giants team because we're throwing Wilmer out there. We could see Rafi Devers playing third base for the Giants sooner than we even thought or anticipated. So I'm wondering when that will start. But Giants need to get their head out of there. You know what? Tonight, you get a victory. I don't know how much I'll watch, but we'll see how it goes. We got less than a minute of the show. They have less than 3 minutes left, less than 4 minutes left of the soccer game. I think I like our chances. We'll see. It's going to be hold on.
Just shut up, man. Oh my gosh. He's really trying me.
I'm trying you right now. Guys, great show as always. Appreciate it. And we will know how we feel 24 hours from now about this U.S. soccer game. So great job by y'all. All right.
See you guys.
See you guys.
My blood pressure will be decided based off of this game.
Good luck, USA. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock at Fashion Furniture. We'll see you then.